10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
A look at what in my opinion, one of the best goalkeepers
we need you to think that you're going to be playing against. So they want
I'm a little bit worried, but I saw a stat on
Sergio
People have gone on about if we lose Lukaku, it could be a bit of a situation. I hope to God it
Sergio Productions.
Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the panel. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. Guys, I'm unhappy. I am so unhappy. I could curse on my own stream. I'm not going to, but I could. Romelu Lukaku done an interview that has been published today. That has been revealed today. It was done apparently a little while ago, but it was revealed today. The information in that interview, which we will go through, I will bring up the interview for you and we will read it together. Disrespectful is the understatement. Disrespectful is the understatement. As a Chelsea fan and as a backer and a supporter of Romelu Lukaku, what was said in that interview is a slap in the face. I am not happy with that interview. I am not happy with what he said. He showed more care and attention in that interview for Inter Milan fans than for fans of his club today. The so-called childhood club, childhood dream that he had to play for. Am I overreacting? I don't know, maybe. But I'm not happy. You don't talk about your manager, about your club, about the system, and then turn around and say, I'm trying to be professional. How is that working? How is that happening? I'm not happy, lads. I am not happy. We're going to go through it. We're going to spend this whole night talking about the problems that are associated with this interview and with the situation at Chelsea today. Because, lads, I don't like to rant, but I've had enough. I've always been positive, but sometimes you just gotta be realistic about certain things. And today, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Let me welcome the guys in the chat. Let me welcome who's in the chat. Let me have a look. We got Sam Ballard. Yeah, it was a little while ago. It was a little while ago. Bauer, big up to you. MCIG, big up to you. Chris, my man, big up to you. Big up to you. And it was good to have you on the stream yesterday. It was good to have you on the stream yesterday. Chelsea, always a pleasure. Welcome to the stream. Shalmark, you know what? Normally, I would jump on you like a ton of bricks for that comment. Normally. But to be fair, mate, what he said, I couldn't care less at the moment. Original, Civi, big up to you. Who else do we have in the chat? We got Aggie. We got Bobby. Listen, lads, big up to all of you. And please hit that like button. For me, forget Lukaku, hit that like button for me and for the lads who have come on the stream at very short notice. I want to say welcome to Mo, MDT, welcome. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, Mo. Thanks for having us. How are you? And hope everything is okay with yourself and the family. And Boogie and Couch as well. The same.
Big up, big up, big up. I'm good. I'm upset about certain thing, but you know, praise be to God. I'm good. Couch critic, Dennis. How are you, my man? How you doing? You're on mute, Couch. Okay, you might not be on this. You might not be here. All right, Boogeyman, big up to you. How are you?
I'm here. Hold on. I'm here. Yo, man, I have to cancel my own stream today because
I know you did.
There's so many things going on today, man. I've been better, but I'm here and there's lots to jump into. That's for sure.
There is a lot. There's a ton to talk about tonight. Big up to you, Couch. Boogeyman, how are you? How you doing?
Good, man, as always. Good.
Boogeyman, welcome to the stream.
Thanks.
Listen, lads, before... No, it's my pleasure, mate. It's my pleasure. Thank you for being here, all of you. Before we talk about this interview, this article, this whatever we want to call it, let's read it. So that we don't, jump the gun here. Let's read it. Maybe the first time I read it, I was angry and I misread it. Let's have a look at it again. All right, so let's go from here. It says, this is Fabrizio Romano, lads. Fabrizio Romano says, Romelu Lukaku to Sky Sports. Physically, I'm fine, but I'm not happy with the situation at Chelsea. Tuchel has chosen to play with another system. I won't give up. I'll be professional. I'm not happy with the situation, but I'm professional and I can't give up now. He goes on to say, Lukaku to Sky Sports. I really hope from the bottom of my heart to return to Inter, not at the end of my career, but when I am still at the top level, to win more together. I want to return to Inter Milan to win more together when I'm still at my peak. I want to apologize to the Inter fans. Timing of my words was wrong. What you did for me will remain forever. What you did for me will remain forever. That's the Inter Milan fans, yeah? You're a Chelsea man, mate. You're a Chelsea man. All right. Romelu Lukaku to Sky Sports. Now is the right time for me to share my feelings. Now is the right time to share my feelings. I have always said that I have Inter Milan in my heart. I know I will return to Inter. I really hope so. I am in love with Italy. This is the right moment to talk and let people know what really happened. Romelu Lukaku, big up to you, mate. Big up to Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku to Sky Sports. I think everything that happened last summer was not supposed to happen like this. Well, how was it supposed to happen? How I left Inter. The way I left the club, how I communicated with the Inter fans, this bothers me because it was not the right time. It was not the right time for you to leave Inter and come to Chelsea, yeah? Romelu Lukaku, big up to you. Physically, I'm fine, but I'm not happy with the situation at Chelsea. Tuchel has chosen to play with another system. He's the gaffer. He chooses the system. I won't give up. I'll be professional. I'm not happy with the situation, but I'm professional and I can't give up now. So it had some feedback there. That's what he said. A Chelsea player, our record signing, the man we had to break the bank to get, especially after the news that came out today with our financial situation. We paid a ton to bring this man in. And this is what he says. This is what Romelu Lukaku has said. You know what? I'm going to stop talking for a minute and try to listen. Boogeyman, MDT, Dennis, give me your thoughts about what you have just heard, what you have just read, what Romelu Lukaku has said. Give me your thoughts, lads.
Okay.
Let me hear it.
Okay. I'm still fuming. I, from the summer, did not want Lukaku. You guys all know that. I backed him because he's a Chelsea player and seemingly was Chelsea through and through. Since a youth, he wanted to be at this club. So I value that highly when somebody takes the club that seriously and has a love for the club like that. But there's certain things that you have to know when you're a professional, especially a 28-year-old professional. If you have problems with what's happening at the club, the last thing to do is to go into the media with it, unless you want a disharmonious exit from the club. The first thing you do is you go and you talk to the club and you say, listen, here are my differences. This is what I have to, this is where I want to see things change. And you work it out internally. As soon as you go to a mouthpiece, everything gets thrown out the window. All the niceties and whatnot that would come from being a Chelsea supporter, that's thrown out the window right now. I can't. I've even sent you, Mo, the another part of the transcript, which kind of shows that obviously, what's his face there? Romano's kind of doctored it a bit. This is from Ollie Glanville, who also works at the club. So he's got the direct transcript and has an excerpt from it. But even with that, I sent it to WhatsApp. Even with that,
okay.
It's untenable for me, because the fact that he's taken this interview 3 weeks ago to talk about his displeasure with the club, and then also the fact that he wants to go back to Inter at some point, is just untenable. I'm gonna have to answer the door, but that's the tenor of where I want to go with this conversation.
All right, we'll come back to you, Couch. All right, MDT, Boogie, what'd you think?
Yeah, this is... Sorry, Boogie. Boogie, go. I'll go last. Don't worry.
Listen, probably I'm going to try to be the... I'm not mad at Lukaku at all.
You're not?
Football, no.
Okay.
Football is just a business, man. When you're not happy, make people know about it. Just say it the way it is. I understand fans will be frustrated with whatever he said in the news. But at least we know how he's thinking. Now we went to look at how he played and make our own conclusion if his head is still in the game or not. I don't want to like a player. I don't want a player to like me. I don't want my colleague to like me. I don't want to. As long as the performances on the field is good, I think we should all just be relaxed about it, because I understand we're different fans, so we come from different backgrounds. But why would you put more stress? Tuchel may look at Lukaku and say, okay, I don't know what Tuchel promised to Lukaku. Apparently, Tuchel promised him a proper system that will work with Lukaku, and for some reason, Tuchel is not using it. I'm not sure if it is true or not, but that's the only thing I know about the whole situation. He wants to go back to Inter. Inter were pretty much the only club where he performed at the top level. I don't mind it. And he's not happy. He's sorry the way he treated Inter Milan fan. It's a fact. Yeah, you've been performing. They love you. You left them. Why not? And I don't want to go back to Inter at the end of my career. I want to go when I'm still at top. Of course, if Inter come in the middle, in 2 years from now, Inter Milan come to buy Lukaku and they have the money, why not Chelsea selling them? I don't see a problem there. For me, it's better this way. We all judge Lukaku now. Nobody has to talk about, Lukaku loved the club so much, that's why he has to abandon this and come to Chelsea. We know that is not true. Now we just judge him on the fact that game after game, if he's playing good, we appreciate. He doesn't play good, we think he's trash, and we go from there. I think that's how it should be, for me, anyways.
You pay £100 million for a player. you can expect him to show some respect to the team that valued him and paid that much money for him. The statement he's making, Boogeyman, the statement that he's making is disrespectful to the fans of his current club. Disrespectful to the fans of his current club. I can't see, but you're saying it's okay. It's okay for him to do that. It's okay for him to do that in a business sense. That's what you're saying, correct?
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't think he's not hurting anybody. That's what is his mind. And we bought Lukaku 100 million pound and pay him 350,000 per week for his performance. Whatever statement he just made, he didn't break anything. I just don't see where the problem is. Again, I know there's other people that are getting hurt about it, but that's their problem. Like even you, Mo, right now, I can feel how you don't like it. I feel, and it's good, but I just don't know why you have to let that information penetrate you that much. That's my problem. Because
we built so much hopes with this guy. You see, right now, Lukaku can finish the season scoring 25 goals, and I wouldn't care less. Because he doesn't represent me anymore. As far as I'm concerned, with that statement, his heart, his mind, his attitude is with Inter Milan. One of the biggest factors for me as a Chelsea fan, bringing in Lukaku, was the connection that I perceived him to have with our club.
You actually said that.
The connection, yes. Yeah. He walked around the dressing room, pointing out lockers, pointing out seats, pointing out that corner. Ex-player used to, talk about this. And
Chelsea came in, there's no way I would say no. He said that.
He said, and he said that the only club that he would leave Inter Milan for was Chelsea. But this statement that we're seeing today shows that he has no respect for Chelsea. He has no respect for Chelsea whatsoever. So for me, he is wearing that shirt and he's a mercenary on that pitch. If he scores or he doesn't score, I don't care. If he puts in a good performance, then it's for him. It isn't for the club. That's how I see it. And that, for me as a Chelsea fan, is not something nice to see. Something that I want to see. Okay, I would rather see the other players have success than him, because he isn't part of the club. Right now, he is wearing our shirt, but he is only wearing it as a uniform. His uniform. Mm-hmm. He's not wearing it because he represents Chelsea. He's wearing it because he's here doing a job, and he's going to go back to wherever he wants to go to when he's done. And I'm not happy about that, because I connect with my players. Me as a Chelsea fan, I connect with my players. When I see my players doing well, I feel happy for them and the club. When I see my players underachieving, it upsets me because I want to see them be successful. Now, when I see them underachieving, and Boogie, especially you know how much support and backing I used to have for that lad, and how much love I had for that lad. Today, I have nothing for him.
Careful, guys. I just put something else in the chat there. This is again from Ollie Glanville that I think needs to be read again.
Your feelings is
listening to the I'll read what Couch posted. Listening to the interview, they've missed a few nuances in what he said. However, this was filmed. He said, "I'm not happy with the situation, but that's normal. Not playing." So he's not happy about not playing. The interviewer asked, has his feelings, I don't understand. The interviewer asked how his
feelings says physically.
Says physically. I don't get that.
Yeah.
How his feelings says physically. I feel fine. No idea if this was about
COVID.
How
is he feeling physically?
He says, physically I feel fine. No idea I was about to have COVID or injury.
Okay, so it's the words are in all places. Okay, he says, I'm feeling, all right. Yeah, but this doesn't change the narrative, Couch. This doesn't change the narrative.
I mean, him not being happy could just be him not being happy with the fact that he's not playing. That does change the narrative a bit.
Even so, he shouldn't speak out in this way. Not in this way. Not in this time.
Tuchel changed the system. Tuchel promised me a certain system. He changed the system, and I'm not happy. And I cannot wait to go back.
I will not excuse that from any player. I will not excuse that from any player. You have a problem, you speak to the manager.
Exactly.
You're the top. You're the one earning more money than everybody in that club. And you're talking that. I mean, listen. Me, I'll let MDT continue, but it doesn't shake me at all. I just feel like, listen, the guy, we paid that money for a specific reason, not for his loyalty. He's there to play and score goals. Let's just keep it that way for now till he proves us he loves the club again. Probably, like we tend to take stuff really personal. And the thing is, I'm pretty sure in the next 2-3 months, if Lukaku starts scoring goals like crazy, we're all going to jump and praise his name and all those things again. So I just think it's just one.
Listen, first thing he needs to do is discredit this interview. He's got to discredit this interview and say this interview was taken out of context. He's got either this interview was taken out of context. It's something he said in private, or he's got to apologize. He's got to fix this situation before he starts scoring goals and starts to get the fans to shout his name again, because that is out of line. I don't care how good you are. You could be Messi, you could be the best player in the team, but if you're playing for Chelsea and you're praising Man United, or I'm playing for Chelsea, but I'd love to play for Man United one day. And you know what? I want to play for them when I'm still in my peak. He's 28 years old. How many more years has he got in his peak? It's I don't know, man. MDT, man. MDT. Let me hear some logic. Let me hear some logic from MDT. Go on, MDT. Let me hear this.
Yeah, let me just put you guys in a good mood, okay? You gotta be careful with an Italian or French interview when a player gives interview in those countries. Be very, very careful. Romano is picking things, not telling you what was asked. When you understand, it's just this is what it's traffic. It's traffic. I'm telling you, Chelsea know. I've had this interview. They've gone through it. They vet it. They know exactly what happened. Lukaku will be in trouble if Romano is saying that's what exactly what that's what. So, but I'm telling you, it's not going to be, what would be there, he shouldn't have said. But it won't be like what we are reading now. Okay, because it happened to Drogba several times when he came to England. Every month there was a release from Canal Plus, from this Drogba want to go to Marseille, he's not happy at Chelsea, this and that. So I'm just saying. But one thing I'm disappointed with Lukaku with. Lukaku left money on the table to come to Chelsea. I don't understand. Even if you're not happy, why say it? I know Boogie like controversy because he said he want people to speak out, but it's not in every environment you go in public and spread your dirty laundry. He left money on the table. He gave up on money to make the deal happen. So if you love Chelsea so much, why go in public about this? I know you normally give an exit interview about your former club to make the fans happy or whatever. Every player does that now. But even that, you cannot make Inter fans be happier than the Chelsea fans. You know that. You're 28 years old. That's PR 101. And he has a degree in public relations, Lukaku. So if you have a degree in public relations, what the hell is that degree helping you for? You should know this. But the thing is, I will wait for the interview directly transcript, not the bits and drops Romano is doing, because right now he's trending, and this is money for him. I don't want to attack anybody's hustle, but right now they know what happened. Chelsea finances today is a mess. Yesterday we have a bad result, and they're dumping this today, and it's gonna bring a big traffic for every newspaper, every column, and everything, and they're making money on our misery. And Lukaku didn't help. But I will wait until I see exactly what is the full context of the interview, what he said. Was it exactly what they say he said? Things like that. And also, with Boogie saying, yeah, we should just, whatever, concentrate on performance, whatever. I agree with that to an extent. For me, Lukaku wasn't my first choice. I told you guys, you all know that. I wanted a younger person, things like that. Because I knew the club finances were not good. But even I didn't know it was this bad. You know?
It's really bad. MDT, where we are financially is really bad. Is really bad. And the thing is, you know, last summer, no, the summer before last, you know, we were all talking about how good we are, how stable our club is, or you know, all that kind of stuff. Yes, we were, but then a pandemic hit, and we all knew that there was going to be problems. Fans were going to be out of the stadiums. You know, the world was going to go into lockdown. Chelsea were in a solid situation financially. Why the hell did they go out and burn money and continue to burn money? Because, you know, the figures are published today, but these figures are from June this year. Therefore, they knew about it before they got into that situation, and they were still spending money like it's growing on trees. And MDT, you said something which I think is probably the most crucial aspect in regards to this piece of news regarding Romelu Lukaku, is to divert attention from that other bit of story, the other story about the finances. Because right now, had this Lukaku thing not come out, everyone would have been talking about the financial situation regarding Chelsea. Instead, what we're talking about, Romelu Lukaku. So maybe it's a diversion, maybe it's a club planned thing, maybe, I don't know.
Chelsea have a transcript of this interview since it happened. Anybody that tell you they don't, they do. And Chelsea, if they were unhappy with it, they would have with it. But this all happened in the same day that we have the worst financial state we've been in more than 10 years since we won the first Champions League. This you're talking about 2010.
So 1 second, MDT. Couch, can you put the link on the private chat for that particular tweet?
MDT.
Yeah. So MDT, sorry for interrupting you.
No, it's okay. Boogie, you can ask a question.
Yeah. Listen, those transcripts are publicized by Romano, right? Romano is at least we can all agree that is a viable source. We can trust Fabrizio Romano, whatever he is posting, right?
No, the thing with Romano posting is, it's not posting the questions. It's not posting what was asked or whatever.
It doesn't really matter, the question. Just read the transcript. Nobody talk about the question does not matter. If you read whatever Lukaku said, we all agree to trust whatever Romano are publicizing because we trust the guy that he's not one of those funky
Boogie, this is a very good comment here from Bauer. Bauer says he is Italian. Fabrizio Romano is Italian. The interview wasn't Italian. So if anyone knows what Lukaku said, it'd be Fabrizio Romano. Unless Lukaku misspoke.
I don't think. Listen.
The reason why I'm I'm telling you this, okay? Chelsea have already had a transcript of this.
It doesn't matter.
Lukaku will get into a mess with Chelsea. That's normal, okay? If Lukaku said what he said, he will be punished.
Hold on, Boogie. Mo.
How?
No. Hold on a second. This interview happened a few weeks ago, right? Lukaku has been out for a week for COVID, but he's also been dropped a couple of weeks before that. He was back from injury, but he was only been given a few minutes each game. Could that be because of this transcript being available to Chelsea and they're punishing him for that without it being public? Could it be the case?
I don't think so.
He'll be punished. if Lukaku has,
You
if
don't
Chelsea already
punish
have
him
this
by
service.
not playing him
Uh,
when we have no players. You know, that's not the way you punish a player. You fine him if anything. You say, listen, these are slanderous, uh, whatever statements towards the club and whatnot. You fine him, but you don't say you're not playing any games because that doesn't help you as a club. You want him playing. You want him scoring goals. I
it'll
think
be
this has
fine.
more to do with. I think this has more to do with the fact that there is a bit of something lost in translation. There is a degree of Lukaku just talking way too much. He needs to keep his mouth shut. Bottom line,
I agree.
and obviously Romano's to capitalize on the situation.
I want to share with you guys a tweet that Fabrizio Romano tweeted 3 days ago. This was brought to my attention by the Couch Critic. This is a tweet from Fabrizio Romano on the 27th of December. And he says, Lukaku's agent, Pastorillo, whoever, to Sky Sports, we are more than happy of our choice. Chelsea is the perfect club for him. We never had any doubt.
3 days
This
ago.
was 3 days ago. This is his agent speaking.
Yeah, but
Which makes sense. His agent wouldn't say something out of line. I mean,
Lukaku himself said the way the transfer to Chelsea happened, it wasn't the right time. Like, let's not just play around this, trying to make this sound sweet. Lukaku,
Sounds sweet. There's nothing sweet about this, my friend.
exactly.
We're analyzing the facts. That's all.
We didn't see the question, something lost in the transcript. No, Lukaku say exactly what he's thinking. Now come down to each fan, each Chelsea fan, to do his own interpretations and no thinking about, maybe it was taken out of context. No, the transfer to Chelsea didn't happen, or the way it happened was not the right time. He said that. And the agent today was say, or in 3 days ago was say, and I can't remember what exactly that tweet said, but it says something like, that's the right thing for Lukaku. Pretty much, you can see the contradiction. They're trying to do damage control there. So for me, I'm a Chelsea fan. Lukaku is just playing for Chelsea. If he play good, I'll be happy. Like yesterday or 2 days ago, he played, I applaud him. But if he doesn't play good, then I will tell he is what he is. I will tell him the performance. I will judge him on performances, not because of someone telling me Lukaku was at Chelsea when he was 15. We just need to disconnect ourselves from that. And when you look at the debt or the financial problem Chelsea is, we signed Lukaku for £100 million, and he's getting 350 a week, 350,000 a week. If we haven't spent that money, we'll not be in that deep trouble. You can see it. We can talk about
Boogie. No, Boogie. I'm not letting you slide with that. That's slander. That's not accurate.
That's your
It's not opinion. No, it's not my mind. No.
Listen, let me finish
I'm
this.
talking
Lukaku
about the
went
money.
to Italian and speak his mind. I don't
I'm
think
talking about
anybody
the
in this
money.
world will prevent me to speak my mind. It just doesn't work that way.
You
If
see,
Lukaku
I'm not
can
talking
speak his
about.
mind, let me speak my
I'm
mind.
talking about the money, the financial situation Chelsea is in. It has, whether Lukaku came or Lukaku didn't come, we were already in a mess. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, Lukaku, we have not even, how much, since we bought Lukaku, okay? Lukaku contribution to the financial mess we are in is not even up to 20 million yet. Okay? So, for people to think that this is how finances work, it doesn't work like that.
Did you pay £100 million for Lukaku?
You don't pay £100 million like that. You spread it over the length of the contract, Boogie. Come on.
The Lukaku, are we paying £100 million for Lukaku? That's my £98 million for Lukaku.
You see, you're not listening because you have a tunnel vision. What you think, whatever is always right. I'm telling you, I'm educating you here.
Thinking. I'm not thinking.
Because you're not thinking. That's the bad thing. Because you have to think. The 97 million we pay for Lukaku is not 1 year. It's over 5 years. It's not 1 year.
Are we going to pay 100? Are we going to pay the 97 million pound to Lukaku?
Yes, but that's not. Good. You can't say that's why we're in a financial mess. We're not in a financial mess because of Lukaku.
Each week, we pay £350,000 to Lukaku. Yes or no?
Listen, let's put the money aside for now, because the financial aspect we'll address in a minute. We'll address that in a minute. What he has done with this interview, I mean, this is a good comment by Tanker. He's saying, Lukaku out. The spirit is toxic to our camp. The spirit is toxic to our camp. This is going to have a ripple effect, lads. This is going to have a ripple effect. If Chelsea allow Lukaku to speak in this way, all the players will speak in this way. All the players will speak in this way. Do you think the other players in the team are going to be happy with Lukaku? I mean, Kai Havertz yet to register a pass to Lukaku. Do you think he's going to pass him the ball now? Listen, you know what he has done. He has done a lot of damage, guys. He's done a lot of damage. The dressing room is not going to be the same now. Tuchel's relationship with him is going to be affected by this interview.
100%.
Tuchel and Lukaku, their relationship is going to be affected. Tuchel has a lot of pride, lads. He has a lot of pride, and when one of his players steps out of line in this way, that's not easy. That's not easy. That is not easy to stomach for a manager like Tuchel.
And the pressure of the fan is just gonna keep coming. It's just gonna keep coming, because even if Chelsea have the transcript, that's nothing. Just wait for the fan to start commenting about it, screaming about it. It's going to be more. They have to make a decision. They have to let us know exactly how are they handling this Lukaku situation, because we are a young team, and Lukaku was supposed to be the mature guys in the young team. People that don't even talk that crap about Lukaku. About Chelsea. They refuse to give them proper contract. Rudiger and Lukaku is earning. You think Rudiger sitting down looking at this is like, okay, that's the guy that is earning 350. All right.
For me, Lukaku has to live with the consequences. If you said something, then deal with it. For me, as far as I'm concerned, deal with the consequences. If anything that come with it, if you open your mouth and said something, you live with the consequences. You live with the consequences. But the problem we have with this whatever, like I will say it again. For me, believe me, I'm gonna try and get the transcript. Lukaku, whatever you said, if you said it at Sky Italia, good luck with it. Deal with it. All the pressure that comes with it, the fans' reaction or whatever, it's on you, because you open your mouth and said it. Okay, but guess what? When it comes to the money and whatever, how much he's earning or whatever, Lukaku was on 12 million euro net. Okay, Italy 12 million euro net mean your tax is paid by the club. That means you go home with 12 million. And that's the same amount is on a Chelsea. Okay,
Lukaku was on 7.4 million at Enter.
No, 12 million euro net. That's what he was on. That's what Gab Makoti said.
I don't know how to show you. Just type Lukaku's salary at Enter.
Check it.
7.4.
Okay, because in Italy, what they do, their salary is counted as net. They club pay your taxes. So anything they show, that's what you take home. That's why when an Italian player move, they always go back, because they, like, let's say you sign an Italian player for 150,000 pounds a week. When they come here, because half of it is tax. But in Italy, if they pay them 100,000, that means they earn more, because the club pay your taxes. You go with the 100,000 home. So that's why when players play in Italy, you might say, oh, this is what they're on less. But if you check it, they're not on less, because their taxes are paid by the club. It's called net. Okay.
I don't think so.
One second, Boogie. Couch, is this the actual interview?
That's what I'm told.
Right, because it's only playable if you're in Italy. So
well,
I need to.
You can also easily get a
VPN. Yeah, but
but the thing is, it's in Italian,
I know. Yeah, no, because if I activate a VPN now, it's disrupt the stream.
Well,
so what I'm gonna do,
it's not gonna do it any good anyways, because it's Italian, right?
It's Italian. But what I am gonna do is I'm actually gonna link the interview in the chat. So if anybody wants to watch it, if you can speak Italian, then you can go ahead and watch it. So the interview, I'm gonna link it for you all in the chat. It's in Italian. So that's the interview. Before we go any further, and I want Couch to come in on this first. Gabriel, big up to you and thank you for the super chat. Couch, Gabriel says, we are victims of gaslighting. Romano is an opportunist. Why now? When the interview was 3 weeks ago. Why bring it to the attention of the Chelsea fan base now? And why Fabrizio Romano? Why did it come in this direction from this particular journalist?
Well, because he's got credibility as a journalist, right? So people will take what he says seriously. He's now just come out on his Twitter and said that it literally translated word by word, which basically means he's taken it verbatim from the actual interview, and he hasn't really doctored it. So I don't know. You're right, Gab. Like it is a bit of gaslighting, but that's the whole point of journalism. Like we're all talking about it right now. There's about 5 or 6 live streams right now talking about this exact same thing. He's going to make money off of this. So I'm not really too concerned about that.
To be fair, sorry, Couch. To be fair, the interview was published today by Sky Sports. I just saw the date and Bauer's comment. So it was published today by Sky Sports. It was done 3 weeks ago, but it was published today.
Exactly. Yeah. So the reason why it's coming out now is because, he's waited for the most opportune time to put it out. Chelsea's in a bit of a crisis. The finances of the club have just been released, and it's showing that we're in a very, very difficult position, rock and a hard place. And then on top of that, you look at the relationship with Tuchel right now and the club, and all of that is just coming to light right now. He's not a stupid man. Like he knows or at least Sky knows that something like this is going to be used, and it's going to get a lot of clicks, and people are going to be talking about it. The transfer window opens tomorrow, the day after. These are all things that will help gear, help drive people to their content. As far as Lukaku goes, this is just what I'm saying, and this has been a problem with Lukaku throughout his entire career. The guy just doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut. Anytime he goes away, he's on loan, or he's away at the Belgian camp, he just starts talking. This is not new. This is an ongoing thing with this guy, and this is the problem. Like, we're not talking when you're in the Chelsea camp. When you start having these loose lips and you start talking about what's happening in the dressing room, managers get sacked. We had the same thing with Jose Mourinho. Like, all these guys leaking his lineups, leaking this, that, and the other, and he's like, oh, there's a rat in the dressing room. These are the things that happen and lead to managers getting sacked. So my feelings right now are based on the fact that I think Tuchel is a fantastic manager. If given time and backing, he's going to produce something for this club. The problem that we're seeing right now is the club's being destabilized because there's people within the club that are talking way too much. Keep your mouth shut, score goals, and that's it. If you want to leave, if you want to go back to Inter, we'll talk about that later. Now is not the time for that, because we're not going to transfer you back in January anyways, and Inter can't afford you. So there's no reason for you to come up with these comments at this point in time when the club is in. Even if it was 3 weeks ago, was in the middle of a title race. You're talking about going back to Inter. Like, what are you talking about?
I think it should be punished. For me personally, it should be punished. It should be fined.
Punishing him. What's punishing him going to do? It's just going to make a more toxic atmosphere at the club.
I know, but Coach, you have to do something. That's the thing. You have to do something, because you know why? Because each one of them, when they're not playing, they give interview on their national team duty, complain about playing time. But he is 28 years old. He knows this. You don't say certain things. Lukaku should know better. Okay, so this is the problem I have with him. He should know better. Okay, because Timo Werner on his last German interview, he wasn't happy. He complained about it. Pulisic do a few times, complain about playing time. They all do. That's normal. But for you to go deep into it, I understand you wanted the Inter fans not to feel bad or whatever, but you can do it in a way. But to go the way he went about it and involve your own manager, I back Tuchel for not playing Lukaku when he's injured. I back Tuchel. I don't believe in playing injured players. So I don't care whether you said you are fit or not. The manager, that should come from the manager and medical team, not from a player to say whether they're fit or not. That's how I believe things should be. But You know, him to go deep into that about system and whatever. The thing is, Tuchel have not even had the chance to have all of his players to even try to play in a different way. So all that is not necessary. Now is not the time.
Bauer, I did check the replies. I did check them. There was nothing out of the ordinary. He specifically says that I can confirm that the translation is accurate and it's not been taken out of context, because Simon Phillips spoke or asked Fabrizio Romano a couple of times whether or not the translation was correct, and Fabrizio Romano confirms it again and again that Romelu Lukaku said that I am unhappy with the Tuchel system. I will continue to work hard, but I am unhappy with the Tuchel system. Look, we can look at this from any angle you guys want. End of the day, he spoke out against his manager, and he disrespected the fans, the Chelsea fans, by playing to the emotions and the feelings of the Inter Milan fans.
Absolutely.
So he's out of line in more ways than one. You can't excuse that.
His tenure at Chelsea, his dream club, 3 months into his tenure at Chelsea, he's come out and said that he wants to go back to Inter, and he's unhappy with the manager. That's what I'm telling you, man. This guy needs to shut his mouth. That's what I'm trying. Like, these are the types of things that get people sacked and just stir up the crap. Like, we're talking about this. I can guarantee you, there's at least 4 or 5 more streams that are talking about this exact same thing with the same fervor and anger that we're addressing it today. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the wrong time.
Sorry, Couch. Shark Goals. The interview, I have linked it in the stream. If you go up if you scroll up in the chat, you will find it. It's in Italian. And you have to be in Italy to watch it, so you need to use a VPN unless you're in Italy. But I have linked it in the chat, and I'll do it again. I'll do it again for you. Sorry, Couch. Continue.
No, I'm just on a rant today, so it's not really much.
Listen, I'm not sure how accurate the Sun UK is, but I have a link.
It's like the Sun here, very inaccurate.
The Sun is terrible newspaper in UK. They're the biggest liars. If you see any story there, don't read it.
So it said 22 October. It was October 22, 21. Lukaku left Inter Milan and has doubled his salary at Chelsea, but Dzeko has filled up the gap at Inter Milan perfectly, something like that. So I just want to, the fact that MDT said Lukaku sacrificed money to come to Chelsea, I didn't hear anything about that at the beginning. It was clear, and I don't even believe that. We all know EPL pay more salary than most team in Europe, and that's where the investments is. That's where the money is.
That's accurate. That's correct.
So when I heard something like, I just listen. Lukaku say what he said. Let him just get the backlash from the fans. The way it is, like, it was brutal for us to listen to it or to read it. Let us just go after him the same way. Like, I just don't want people to try to show any part of Lukaku that he did any sacrifice, because no, he didn't sacrifice anything. He's doubled his salary coming to Chelsea. So those are the small things that I don't like, but I still think Lukaku has the right to speak his mind. Lukaku has the right to
Boogie. He doesn't. Not in this context. Not in this way. Okay, you have the right to speak your mind in certain matters, in certain areas, but you are still employed by a club. You are still part. Listen, if you go out there now, you have a boss, you have a manager. If you go out there now on TV and talk about your manager, and talk about your boss, ethically that's incorrect. That's not allowed. You can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. And if you get fired, that's your problem. Okay, so there are things you can do and things you can't do. This is one of the things you can't do. Sport is an entertainment business. Sport is an entertainment business. Today, Chelsea. Today. Okay, how many guys do you think have bought a shirt with the number 9 Lukaku on the back? How many? All these fans who have bought that shirt with Lukaku 9 on the back are going to be very disappointed today, and they're going to be very upset.
I know one, Tobago.
I know one. You know, we the Blue Lounge bought him a shirt, and he's probably thinking about burning it right now. I'm serious. Tobago, I will send you the matches. I will send you the matches.
Boogie has 2 as well, 2 Lukaku shirts as well. I think one is under the jacket if you check.
Yeah, but listen, at the end of the day, can someone point exactly where Lukaku disrespect Tuchel in the entire message? Because I keep hearing that, but
no,
maybe my English is not good.
Yeah, no, Boogie. For you,
I am not happy with the Tuchel system. I am not happy with the Tuchel system.
You are right when you say he didn't disrespect him. But guess what? These are things that you spoke about it or you speak about it behind closed door. It shouldn't be in the public space. The thing is, footballers don't have freedom of speech. They don't. That's what people fail to understand. They're not free to say anything they like. That's not the way it works. When you work in sport, you are dictated to. It's in your contract. Okay, so Boogie, there's no human right involved when it comes to football or sport in general. They don't have rights. So forget about that to say Lukaku can speak whatever. No, that doesn't work here. He's not allowed to speak certain way. He's not. He doesn't have that freedom.
I just don't like players that speak out against about things that could be kept in the dressing room. I don't like that at all. Like, the first thing you should do is you work it out with the manager. If that becomes a situation that becomes untenable, you go to your agent. Your agent goes to the directors of the club, and then you engineer a move out. Once you move is when you start talking about the problems you had at the club. That's how I think that the structure should be laid down. You don't go 3 months into your tenure at the club, talk about how there's displeasure and how the system is not working for you, and you don't. That to me just tells me that you love to talk. You don't know how to keep your mouth shut and just like let things play out as they're supposed to. You talk too much, and that's the problem I have.
Just to make you smile, Couch. Did you see the Ronaldo miss?
Listen, I couldn't care less about other teams right now, man. My team is in the mud. My team is in the mud.
I just want to make you guys laugh. He missed a very, very,
Look, guys, this has been a really bad week. This has been a really, really bad week. Actually, forget a week. Let's just 48 hours. Been a really bad 48 hours. Human beings make errors. Human beings make mistakes. But if you believe that, because you see, Boogeyman says something, and I'm trying to wrap my brain around it. The club, was it Boogie or was it MDT? They have the transcript of the interview. If they have the transcript of the interview, don't they have the right to have it withdrawn? Doesn't the agent or the player have a right to withhold certain things? I mean, he made a mistake. He spoke out of line. Maybe he has 3 weeks before it's published to do something about it. I struggle to understand how his agent allowed him to speak in that way. Unless he wants to leave and he's setting the ground for him leaving. But again, if he wants to leave and he's setting the foundations for him to leave under these circumstances, he's going to cost us money because we are not going to be able to sell him for the price that we paid for him. Because he wants to leave, therefore we are forced to sell. Therefore, we are not going to get what we paid for him. So it is really, really, putting Chelsea in the corner here, man. And I just don't. How could this be? How could this be allowed? And this is why punishment, and in my opinion, severe punishment needs to be made.
I mean, let's not forget that we sold assets. I was going to tell you, right? Like, we sold significant assets to buy this guy. Significant.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
You know,
For
like
some
this is
reason,
supposed to
couch.
this is supposed to be
For
an end
some
game.
reason, your voice is not coming out. I don't know. Can
Are you
anybody?
guys not hearing me?
I'm hearing him fine. I'm hearing him fine.
I'm hearing
Real?
him. I'm hearing him.
Yeah, I saw that in the post. Somebody said too. But like, I was just gonna say, let's not forget that we have put significant assets into signing this guy. It's not like Roman just like
We didn't.
underwrote this signing. We actually had to sell a lot of talent just to bring this guy in. And then 3 months into his tenure, we're talking about how he doesn't want to be here. He wants to go back to Inter. You guys, there's no way to sugarcoat this, MDT. I'm sorry, man. We can't look at this.
No, I never sugarcoat.
Like-
I never sugarcoat anything.
No,
I just said our
but
reason.
you're looking for the silver linings in here, and like, okay, well, maybe this person said it like that. There's no way around this. This guy has literally disrespected the club in a way that nobody has before. You know, the closest thing that I can come to seeing something like this was when Diego Costa was like flirting with going to China in the middle of a title race. You know, this is just unacceptable, man. And I don't know what what is the end game here. Like, does he want to go back to Inter? Can Inter actually afford to pay him to pay for him right now? Does any club in world football want to pay for this guy right now?
No, not in COVID.
Well, not even yeah. Okay, no club in world football is going to be trying to pony up the money. Maybe we can sell him off to Spurs to Conte, man, and use the
Newcastle.
money and use money. Yeah, Newcastle, another good one, and use the money to buy Haaland, man. Like, because right now I don't feel good about having this guy at the club. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't feel good about this at all.
Can I say something? I think Couch. Go ahead. Sorry.
The thing is, Chelsea had the transcript of this interview, and also Lukaku's agent. Chelsea will have to sanction the interview. Okay, if Chelsea wanted the interview withdraw, I think there's a mechanism for it. Or Lukaku's agent or whatever say, something didn't go. Whatever the case, they didn't withdraw it. Lukaku has to live with the consequences. Couch. I don't defend him. I'm a kind of person that always want to see something first before I decide on not reading the whole thing. As far as I'm concerned, he has to deal with the consequences. There's nothing sugarcoat or whatever. Chelsea come first. He has to deal with it. If he said anything he said, he has to deal with the consequences, with the fans, with everybody. If he can say it, he has to pay the penalty for it. So that's how I see it. There's no other way to say, this or that or whatever. Lukaku said something. Lukaku have to wear the big boy pants to deal with the consequences. Okay, but even if we sell Lukaku right now, let's say we sell Lukaku for the money we bought him, that's the best scenario. Okay, we replace him. That's all we hope for. But guess what? He will not do anything bad for Chelsea. Okay, he will not change our situation. For me, Lukaku has to deal with the consequences. If Chelsea can find a way, whatever. If as far as I'm concerned, find him 2 weeks' wages, because I think that's the maximum you can do under their contract. Okay, but Chelsea knew this interview happened. Chelsea must have sanctioned it, and Chelsea have a transcript of it. Lukaku's agent as well, the same thing. So that's what I'm saying. That's a fact.
The thing is, let me just switch this a little. And Mo, you stop me if you notice that what I'm trying to do is not good. Lukaku criticized Tuchel. That was not my interpretation. Lukaku criticized Tuchel's system. I'm pretty sure there's a fan base that's still thinking Tuchel has to bring some changes to the system.
Totally agree. Agree.
Isn't it Lukaku being the voice of those fan base? So
No.
I'm not going after Tuchel. Let me just make it clear. If you give me a choice between Lukaku and Tuchel, I'm picking up Tuchel. Lukaku, everybody knows I criticize Lukaku a lot. But isn't it Lukaku opened the door now to those fans to actually get out and criticize Tuchel and make Tuchel life more complicated at Chelsea? So if you start going deep,
just one comment. We're gonna let you continue. In response to what you said, I totally agree. The system does not suit Lukaku. I totally agree. Tuchel needs to address that. I totally agree. But Lukaku does not speak about that. Not to us, to the gaffer. He'll speak to Tuchel. He'll tell him what he thinks. but he does not have the right to speak to the media about the shortfalls of the manager.
Makes sense.
Not while he's playing for Chelsea. Sorry, continue.
Okay. But let's just say he talked to the gaffer. I'm speculating at this point. And he noticed that nothing has been changed. And the worst case scenario, Havertz is starting the game. And in the news, I heard that I'm fat. Like, I'm talking as a Lukaku. All I heard in the news is like, I'm not fit. But I know I'm fit. But it's the system that is not properly it's not showing my full qualities. So then what? Let me just go do this interview to open the door to those fans that also think Tuchel, in fact, is the problem, or Tuchel's system is the problem. So Tuchel can have the pressure and change system. You see what I mean? So isn't it a good thing? Like me, let me just put it this way: 3-4-3 is the system. I don't want Tuchel to change it because that's the first time I saw Chelsea performance at a high intensity from minute 0 to minute 90, especially last season. And I want us to keep it because those systems can only be played by young players. And I just want Chelsea to have young players all over the pitch. That's all I want. I don't want all those 28, 29, 32. I want them all. Yeah.
What was Conte playing at Inter Milan when Lukaku was there? What system? What formation?
I will say wing back, the 3 defender, wing back, 2 in the midfield, and 1 and 2.
1 and 2, 2 and 1. It was a 3-4-3 system, a 3-4-3 formation.
3-4-1, 3-2, if you want to call it, whatever the thing is.
In a game, alterations happen. I mean, yesterday a lot of alterations happened. So the system to be modified, it's not something very, very difficult for Tuchel to do. I am 100% sure that Tuchel wants to utilize Lukaku to the best of his ability. So if Lukaku is going to have an issue with the system and he has told Tuchel about it, I am sure they're working it out. They're trying to figure something out. And to be fair, Lukaku hasn't been doing badly recently. I mean, the past couple of games, he had a full game and a half. He did okay. He could do better, but he's recovering from COVID and whatnot. He did okay. That side of things, that's football. Technical aspects, tactical aspects, that's football. Between you and your manager, you have no right to go to the press and talk about it. And that is only half of the problem. Actually, maybe a quarter of the problem. The other bit is the fans. How dare you address the Inter Milan fans with that much respect when you haven't showed that much respect to us? Tell me when Lukaku has come out recently and talked about the fans and how much love and how much this and how much that. He's not done that.
Well, let's be honest.
I didn't say. No, catch. I'm going to simplify it. I left without saying goodbye, and I'm really hurt. What? Why are you even saying that? I left without saying goodbye to the fans. Why? Why are you saying that? Why are you saying I want to win trophies with Inter Milan? Why are you saying that? When I'm still in my peak, why are you saying that? You're a Chelsea player, mate. You're a Chelsea player. Why are you saying that?
Yeah, that's a fact.
I just thought there is no excuses for what he's done. Lost in translation. Show me how it's possible to have that, translated in a negative way, in a different way. Okay, he didn't say I am not happy with the Tuchel system. He said I would prefer to play a different system or whatever. You don't address the system, not with the press. You don't do that. You address the system with your manager. You address the fans of Inter Milan, okay, when you are a free agent, when you are looking to transfer, not when you are in the middle of a title challenge. Not when you are still, 6 months in? Chelsea second. I don't know. I just can't excuse it. I can't excuse it. And you all know how much love and time I have for Lukaku. But after this, I'm sorry. I just don't.
Yeah, maybe the fact that I don't have a deep connection with Lukaku. I even have more connection with Costa than Lukaku. Let me just bring this way because I like his attitude. But maybe that's
Costa's a legend. Costa's a legend. I don't care.
That's why I don't feel offended too much by what he said. But more I'm listening to you guys. I don't think he disrespected Tuchel. He made comment, like you say, he says stuff that he should not be put in the public. Yeah, good. I'm pretty sure everybody's thinking the same way. He's just decided to talk about it because he feel like maybe he cannot handle the critics he was getting from the fan. He's not doing this. He cannot score. He cannot that. So maybe he just had enough.
I don't think that matters, though. That's irrelevant. Like when you say that he hasn't disrespected Tuchel, that's still big disrespect. Because instead of just taking it like a man, taking the criticism like a man, he's now gone out into the media and stirred up the club, stirred up more controversy within the club. Like that is directly going to affect what Tuchel can do going forward.
Coach, if you are a football, let me just say you're doing some type of job and you need an equipment to do that job, and
Like
you're not getting that equipment. You're not getting that equipment, and people
So I don't have a
criticize you that you're not doing the
saxophone.
proper job. What do you say?
I say I need
Yeah,
a
but
saxophone,
Boogie.
but I don't go. I
Yeah,
don't
but
go
Boogie,
into the
you
media.
don't go in public. You don't go in public. Lukaku has no right to go in public.
Can I say something? When the public is criticizing you and your boss is not protecting you, what do you do?
What do you mean? You
Okay.
take it like a man, and you do your job. You keep your mouth shut and you do
How
your
do
job.
you do that job when you don't have the right equipment in your hand?
Yeah, but that's still not the point though. The reason why you're getting 325K a week is to keep your mouth shut and keep things internal. If you have a problem with what's happening at the club, you go to the manager and you speak to the manager directly. You don't take that opportunity to go into the media and say what you said. That's the difference.
No, I don't. Yeah, okay. Fan getting hurt, yeah, because of what he said. But I just don't see him breaching any anything. Like
It's not about honestly. It's not about whether or not he breached anything. Like maybe he won't get fined for this. You're probably right. It's the code of ethics that I think is being betrayed here. Like the fact that he's taken this opportunity to, instead of just like taking it like a man. If you say that he's hurt because people are hurting his feelings or whatever, he's not taken this opportunity and gone to the manager and said, listen, I was bought for 97 million for what I do. And there's no system in place right now to basically exalt my strengths. All right. Can we talk about this? Instead of doing that, what he should have done was he's gone out to the press and let that out in the press.
Yeah, but that's why
That's destabilizing the club. That's what I'm talking about.
That's a whistleblower. He's a whistleblower. He's saying something is not right. I've been paying that much money, yeah, but people are asking me to do stuff that I cannot do because I don't have the equipment. What do you want me to do? And nobody seemed to say, okay, take it easy on this guy. He doesn't have all the equipment. So then what? What do you want me to do? I'll go out and as a man, I think people say he has to take it as a man and shut up. No, but what he did, in fact, is what real men should do. You go out, you talk about it, and you wait for the consequences. That's what man does. Like, okay.
What is the consequences, Boogie? What is the consequences?
The backlash from the fan. That's the only thing you got on Lukaku.
So the only benefit of him doing that is the backlash from the fans, right?
No, the consequence is the coach getting fired. That's why I think the worst case is going to be this. That's why Lukaku has to be.
Then if that is the consequences, we all need to stand behind our coach and tell this guy he made a mistake, right?
Yeah, but then I'm waiting for I'm waiting for Chelsea to make a decision. All those sugarcoat what he did. Look, if Tuchel had the backup of the club, they should be able to work it out together, and Lukaku keep playing. But if Tuchel cannot handle it, then one of them has to go.
Today, let me paint a picture for you. Today, Chelsea find themselves being pushed out of a title race. And I say pushed out of a title race because of the way the Premier League has been treating them. We are being pushed out of the title race because we've requested postponements to games. We've requested certain changes to happen to the schedule. Nothing was happening to the benefit of Chelsea, while other clubs, all they have to do was to write a text message and everything would be sorted out for them. We would put official requests, nothing. So that's the first situation we find ourselves in. We are being pushed out of the title race. Second, we have got a ton of players out to injury and to COVID because of the schedule, because of this push from the Premier League.
Yeah.
Tuchel is currently under a lot of pressure from the fans, from the club, from the players, because we all want to see success, but all we're seeing is a staggered approach to this title race. Continuing. Today, the financial figures have been made public and Chelsea are in a bit of a pickle. Chelsea had sold a ton of players to raise money to buy this so-called superstar. Chelsea are in a position where they are spending money like it's growing on trees. Getting a player who they scouted for 2 years who can't pass the ball properly, who can't dribble with the ball properly, who can't play. Tuchel would rather bring in youth players, 16, 17-year-olds, than to play a player who we paid £5 million to loan and 200,000 a week to maintain him to maintain his salary. So Chelsea have made a lot of mistakes. Chelsea are under a lot of pressure. And then you get this dude coming out and saying, I have no respect for the fans. I'm taking your money and I want to go back to Inter Milan and win trophies with them while I'm still in my peak. And your gaffer doesn't know what he's doing. And we're all supposed to sit down and say, whistleblower, speaking out. Big up, hold on. No, that's not how it goes, mate. That's not how it goes. Boogeyman, Lukaku, what he did is unacceptable. Under all ethics, under all rules, under all understandings, under all concepts, what he did is unacceptable. And the only person who can remedy it is Lukaku. By apologizing.
Would you accept it?
Would I accept it? No.
Exactly. So why would he apologize if you don't?
Because it's the right thing to do.
Okay.
It's the right thing to do. He needs to apologize. And he needs to keep his mouth shut. And he needs to start playing and start proving his worth to us on that pitch. He needs to get on with what he's been paid to do. I have shown him so much respect. I have shown him so much love. Okay, and then he comes out and says that to us, to me. As far as I'm concerned, that was spoken to me. I couldn't care less about you. I'm going to go to Inter Milan. That's what it sounded like to me. I'm a Chelsea fan.
That's what he said.
So as far as I'm concerned, this guy, he made a massive blunder and he is the one that needs to fix it. And the club needs to take action against him because they can't let this thing happen over and over and over again. And if they don't take action against him, it's going to impact Tuchel the most. Because that dressing room, he will have no control over. Because tomorrow you'll see Callum Hudson-Odoi speaking out. You will see Marcus Alonso speaking out. You'll see all the players. I'm not happy. Christensen, Rudiger, they'll all speak out because there's no repercussions. There's no repercussions. I can go out there, I can say what I want. There's no repercussions.
It's not just the fact that you can say what you want.
We've got to put a stop to it.
It's not just the fact that you can say what you want. It's the fact that you can argue that your bad performances is because of your coach. Like imagine Callum Hudson-Odoi saying stuff like, "Oh, I didn't score all those goals. I wasn't that good in the final third. I wasn't this. I wasn't not this. I wasn't not this." And fan criticizing me, but in fact, it's because of Tuchel's system. Then why are you telling the board to do at this time? Like, let's just be honest. It's just Lukaku actually just opened the door for some crazy stuff. Like we need to just be honest about it and Either
Open
Tuchel
the door
and
to what?
Lukaku.
Open the door to what? Boogie, explain to me.
Like,
I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding.
What I'm trying to say is, Lukaku is an adult. He's
Yes.
his mind. Let's just accept the fact that MDT said the club knows about this whole thing 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I think both men have the chance. They have the chance to talk about it or to discuss it. Or Marina calling Lukaku and discuss the whole thing about him, or whatever. Or Petr Cech, whatever. Maybe Tuchel say, "I don't want to deal with it. I have too much issue. I'm not doing this. You guys deal with it." So then Lukaku is available for Tuchel. He's still using it. So now is for this, that means that's the way they dealt with it. Now we just heard about the whole thing. Me, I don't care. My only biggest issue is if the club accept what Lukaku said, and if they accept that Tuchel said, it doesn't matter to me or I don't care, then let's not use that against Tuchel. Let's make sure that we talk to all the other players around. You're not going to blame your coach for your performances because your performances suck. That's we got problem with you guys, you players, not scoring goals. It's not because of Tuchel, because Tuchel has won the Champions League with that system. So that system, there's not too much wrong with it. You guys need to put your head down and run and make sure that that system works. So hopefully the club reached that level yet. But now our fan, we need to go after Lukaku, make it clear that he should never, ever in his sweetest dream talk like that about Chelsea or even suggest that his manager is not competent or his manager is not good enough. That's our fan. No, we have to start doing this. But that's what I'm trying to say. We just have to be clear in what we want to do. We just have to be not just getting too, listen, emotion gets sometimes the best result out, but he said it. That's how he felt. We need to accept it. And I'm pretty sure he's not the only one because I heard other fans talk like that. That system doesn't fit Lukaku at all. I heard a lot of fans that Tuchel has to tweak that system for Lukaku to even come to say that.
Boogie, that's the thing.
So it's
that's
not
the thing.
disrespectful.
I have no problem with fans saying it. I have no problem with him talking about it with his gaffer within the team. But there's a time and a place for every conversation, and that conversation should not have been held with an Italian journalist. It's not just open to interpretation because it's actually videoed. It's like it's a recorded conversation. So if you can speak Italian and you listen to it, you're going to hear it. You can't turn around and say I didn't say it because it's there in front of you on the screen. Okay,
and I'm pretty sure I've come out and said the exact same thing you just said, Boogie. I think that the system should be built around Lukaku. You don't spend no £97 million and then try and fit a square peg into a round hole. You know what I mean? Like, you have to find a system that works. If you bought him with the notion of playing whatever, have him running the channels, getting the ball, or like whatever it is that are his strengths, and then you're not playing to his strengths, then that makes no sense to me, which is kind of what makes me think that this was not a Tuchel buy. This was definitely another club buy because they were just panicking again, much like they panicked when I don't want to get into it. Like this.
I want you to address. Hold on. I want you guys to address this. I want you guys to address this from this perspective. And by the way, tomorrow the press conference is going to be very, very interesting. The presser tomorrow is going to be lit. It's going to be lit. But
they're not going to get into much of the details. I guarantee that.
They'll ask him all the questions he won't answer,
and he'll be like, "This is all going to be dealt with internally." Blah 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 blah. He's not going to come up and gaslight this any further.
Listen, MDT. I want you to approach it from this angle. Because I understand what Boogeyman is saying. I totally agree with him. But I'm saying there's a time and a place for every conversation.
Absolutely.
I need to understand this from you guys. One, is this to cover some of the financial misgivings that we've had recently? So this story has come out to cover this. And two, the financial misgivings that we've had recently, what is the reason behind them?
Oh my
because that is a topic that is also out today, and I want to give that topic some time.
Wow.
So I want you guys to address both aspects. Firstly, is this to cover that? And secondly, why are we in that position right now? Why?
I'm gonna jump in
Let
real
me hear
quick
it.
because I got my
Yeah, sorry, Sana. Yeah.
Is that
I
cool?
just-
Is that
I
cool?
just
If
want-
I just
sorry,
jump in?
Couch,
And
you can go.
Yeah.
Couch.
Firstly, we talked about this today with Max for a little bit, and I didn't think that we got enough. We didn't really get enough out of it because it was just a short amount of time and whatever. But regardless, this is going to be an ongoing topic, and this is one that I think deserves more attention than this whole Lukaku thing. We have a board right now that have not at all catered any of their finances to the needs of the manager in charge. They're basically buying players, marquee players, with the notion that whoever comes in will be able to work with these players. System is not in taken into account in any of these situations. We went from Conte, who played counter-attacking 3-4-3. It has ginger? I told you guys. Counter-attacking 3-4-3. Then we went to, if I'm not mistaken, it was Sarri, who plays a 4-3-3 and is possession based. Okay, guys. MDT, you take over. I'll be back in a sec.
No worries.
Yeah, sorry, just before I go to the finances, not necessarily Lukaku can be a Tuchel signing, but it's just that Tuchel wanted to play him in a certain way, and Lukaku doesn't think that that's the best way. It happens sometimes. I remember, what's his name, Pep Guardiola got rid of Samuel Eto'o and brought in Zlatan Ibrahimovic to play him in a certain way. And Zlatan said, I'm not a target man. I'm not a lamppost. You remember? They had a similar like what's going on now with Lukaku, Zlatan and Pep Guardiola. A proper fight in Barcelona. Okay, back and forth, media, whatever. So it can happen. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's not the coach didn't want him. It's just that the coach has an idea and the player has different idea. That can happen. So does it necessarily mean that you're not the signing of that team or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
MDT. Don't forget what you were saying. Lukaku said Tuchel promised him something, and Tuchel changed his mind. So that means they both actually talk and discuss his transfer. So
I know.
A system.
It's,
So when you say
Boogie,
Tuchel,
that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. I don't want to agree with you. I don't want to say I agree.
Not good.
Yeah, what you're saying, this is what I keep saying. It can happen. People shouldn't think that the manager is not wrong. The manager can be wrong. But where I disagree with you is Lukaku should never come out and say it in public. Always keep it in-house. That's what I'm saying. Zlatan went out and talk about it in public. It was destabilizing in Barcelona. You remember? Lukaku has done the same thing. I'm not happy with that. Yeah, what you're saying, it doesn't... Look, Boogie, you can be right. Tuchel can sit down with Lukaku and say, this is the idea I have with you. But then later on, change his mind to say, you know what, let me try different things. And Lukaku can say, hang on a sec, you didn't tell me that before. You told me different things. Like Zlatan and Pep. But as a player, you should be able to keep it in-house. You should. That's how it goes. And also, more when it goes to the finances, I wouldn't be surprised. Chelsea had this transcript, and they knew exactly what was going to happen with the financial report. They were happy for this to go out like this, Lukaku to be hung because he deserved it. So to take a little bit of pressure off the finances discussion of the club. Clubs are smart. They have the transcript and they know the financial report is coming out. So I wouldn't be surprised if it touched 22. They were happy with both to come out because that way Lukaku will be hung because he deserves it. But the club finances will be spoken of less. So it's a smart move for them.
Yeah, no, it's clear to see. It's clear to see. Why are we in this situation though, MDT? I mean, you look at numbers, you look at stats, you look at trends, and you look at where we've been and where we are today. MDT, we were in a good financial position 2 years ago, just before this pandemic came in. MDT, I'm getting some feedback on your end. I'm gonna mute you for a second until I ask a question.
Anyways,
So why did we end up in this situation, MDT? Why are we here now? I mean, who is to blame? Is there a person to blame? Is there a set of people to blame? Because we're hearing Havertz wasn't Havertz wasn't a Lampard signing. Lukaku wasn't a Tuchel signing. Saul Niguez was not a Tuchel signing. Initially, it was a Tuchel signing. Now people are saying he's not a Tuchel signing. What is going on? Why are we buying players that are not requested by the manager? And why are we not buying the players that are requested by the manager? And if Tuchel did say that he wanted a wing back in the last transfer window. We didn't buy him a wing back. We attempted to buy Hakimi. That didn't go well, so we didn't buy him a wing back. We're suffering now. Why are we in this position? Why are we buying players that we don't need, and why are we not buying the players that we do need? And why are we overpaying for players? Because let's be honest. I mean, right now, I think every penny we spent on Lukaku was a penny spent unwell, in a bad way, because Lukaku today is not worth the money we spent on him.
I'm going to try this one more. Sorry, I'm going to try this one more time before this kid pops up. But
no worries.
The problems are deeper than just Lukaku, Tuchel, and the board. I think that goes deeper than that. We talk about our setup, our system at the club, and what has been the mandate. Every 18 months, we have a new manager, right?
Right.
What does that tell you? It means that we have absolutely no philosophy, because we can go from Conte, who plays counter-attacking defensive football.
No stability.
No stability, but also
no vision. No vision.
We have no idea of how we want to play football. We went from counter-attacking defensive football to possession-based football under Maurizio Sarri. Then we went to Frank Lampard. Obviously, that was a little bit different, and now we're into another system with Tuchel, and there's no continuity. So what it tends to happen is we have players that are being bought for a specific system that don't necessarily function elsewhere, don't function well in other systems. And when we get a new manager, what we have to do is sell the dead weight who are on high wages and try and buy players that suit the new manager's way of playing. And that cycle continues year after year after year, every 18 months, every 2 years. And what we're left with now is a glut of players that do not function with the philosophy of the new manager. We're talking about Danny Drinkwater. We're talking about Michi Batshuayi. There's a whole mess of players that have been bought at a mint that are just dead. They're just dead at the club. You can't move them, and then on top of that, you can't use them. We were on a stream yesterday. We're talking about Barkley. Barkley wasn't even supposed to be at the club this year, and he's giving you meaningful minutes now.
Why are we bringing?
What does that tell you? What does that tell you about what's happening at the club right now? There's absolutely no philosophy or system in place, structure in place that is conducive to the financial structure of the club being, obviously in a good position, for lack of a better term. Because every 18 months we're changing the philosophy, we're changing the players, and we can't move the dead weight because they're on high wages. That's the problem.
Is Chelsea the only club doing that? I understand.
Man United's doing it.
Much exactly.
Yeah.
And Liverpool and the Manchester City may be the only exception, but because the
Liverpool's not doing it.
What's that?
Liverpool's not doing it.
That's what I'm trying to say. Liverpool and Manchester City are the only exception, but up to the time where the higher club, that's what they keep doing also, they're changing coaches until they find the right one. I think Chelsea will do the same thing. My point is this: Manchester United is doing that and not having too much problem because of their stadium. They have the money coming in when it's time they play football. So I just think Chelsea has to at least check a little how to finance the players and how to promote our youth. It's really important that we need to rebuild this family and give certain path to first team to our youth. That's the only way. It's not even, there's no other ways. Spending big money is just nonsense for a team like Chelsea. We should not be spending big money when we invest that much in the quality we had and our youth. Hopefully, the player on loan, we have to bring them back, pay their salary. If Conor won 120, 150, I don't know what it is, but whatever salary Conor Gallagher want, make sure you guide him there, and so he can sign 10 years contract and stay with us. Stay with us. This is the only way. We cannot keep spending money like we have them. We don't have the money. So for me, it's the stadium side that bring us into this financial problem. And I mean, a few bad decisions, but
More than a few bad decisions, man. Like more than a few. Like it's not just it's the sackings and the repeated like sack and then sign again, sack and sign again. Like this is
so
just
3 years ago
and no
we were
structure.
good, right? Coach, in I think 4 years ago, before Lampard took over, or somewhere that time, I think we had 43 million or 30 something million. It was I think it was a year where we had 30 something million surplus, right? I can't remember when it was. So from Lampard to Tuchel, what exactly happened? COVID happened. I think so. That's the only viable reason. We won the
No,
Champions
Boogie,
League. Help us also.
can I just, yeah, when it comes to the finances, that's not the main problem. Let me just go back a little bit.
What is
The
not the
problem
main
Chelsea
problem?
have, the chief, when we were like those days, our top earner was Eden Hazard. Everybody else were not like a big earner in the club. So that was very good. But now all the young players we sign, they are on more money than most of the other players. That's the problem. The main problem is we've increased our wages way too much. With players that were signed, they cannot play in this particular system in a way. So just before we get there, I can say we have to go back a little bit. The problem is, I don't mind Chelsea having this system where, like, when a manager comes in, you buy them a couple of players. Because of, guess what? It is not safe because we don't have a chief executive that's responsible for the playing side and the manager. Most clubs have a chief executive that's responsible for the playing side and employing the managers. They recommend managers and the board will choose one of them. Those managers will come in and exactly they will fit into the structure. We don't have that. Our managers are chosen by the board, the businessmen and women. So they choose a manager. So the chief executive is, the scouts are responsible for finding players. Okay, but example, Conte play a 3 at the back system. Sarri play 4 at the back with a possession ball. So those two systems, there is no way you can buy for the manager. Because if you do that, there's a problem. Because the players are totally different for each system. So I understand Chelsea are in predicament. And some of the players Conte wanted for his system were too expensive. He wanted Alexandro at Juventus. He was 60 million. Okay, and imagine we bought Alexandro. Alexandro now for the past 2 years, he's been terrible. So there are certain players Chelsea refused to buy for Conte where they were right. But there are certain players like Van Dijk, they were wrong. Okay, so I understand they mix whatever. But the main problem we have is the scouting because we don't have a chief executive that's responsible for all the playing staff, academy, the first team, the manager. The chief executive should be the boss of the manager. The manager should answer to a chief executive. In that structure, look at Liverpool. Liverpool is Michael Edward. He's the one working with Jurgen Klopp. Okay, Manchester City, they have Bijiristan. Even Real Madrid, they have a chief executive who work with their president and choose managers because of. So this is the thing. This is what we're lacking.
But
If we don't have a proper chief executive with a good, yeah, but it will limit it. Guess what? Even if we sign bad players, it will be easier to get rid of if you have a chief executive because you can blame them. And when they know that they are responsible, they spend the money wisely because the buck stops with them. But what we have at Chelsea, we will see a shiny toy, we go and spend money, buy the release clause instead of scouting. The problem we have, our wage bill at the top, if you check Lukaku, Werner,
MDT. MDT, I'm going to ask you a question. MDT. Before I ask the question, I just want to say big up to the Podfather. Welcome to the stream.
Cheers.
Welcome, mate.
Big up, brother. Big up.
Big up, Podfather. Well, I'll let you jump in a minute. I wanna hear MDT's response to this question. MDT, is Chelsea going into a financial problem? Is Chelsea on the same path as Barcelona, or is this all premature? Are we in the having a blip? Is things going to change? Are we going to be sorting ourselves out? Because the issue that we have today is it has come from two main avenues, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not a financial expert, but from my opinion, two main avenues: mismanagement of expenditure when it comes to wages and player signings, and two, the lack of revenue streams that we have in comparison with other clubs that we're competing with. So are we going to be able to address that? Are we going to be able to fix that up, or are we going to be going down a dodgy path here? So I'll hear from you, MDT. Then I'll get Podfather to come in, and then I'll open it to the rest of the panel.
Yeah, the thing is, we will never get to the Barcelona side because we have an owner that might be able to dip into his pocket to save us. But if we didn't have that, we're heading to that stage because the transfer ban gave Chelsea a reset. We made money. We have a lot of money, but we choose to throw the money. We choose to put fire on the money. And fans thought we have money when we won the Champions League. I came on this stream. Remember, I told you guys, we don't have the money. We already used the money. The Champions League money is gone. And people say, how is that possible? I'm like, it's gone because we did not have money in the beginning. So we had 200 million from the transfer ban because of the academy players coming through.
I cannot let you
The wage structure was low. You mean 200 million from where?
The Champions League money, all the sales we did with all those players, where those money went.
Boogie. Listen. We bought. Sorry, let me just come in and then I'll let you explain. Boogie, there's a couple of things we have to understand. Firstly, the Hazard money was used to finance a lot of the transactions that we had made in the last window with the Havertz and the Ziyech and all those players. But it didn't cover all of that. We still had to dip in to pay the rest of the wages and the fees. Secondly, the revenue streams, and this is the key factor. We do not have the same amount of revenue coming in to be able to keep us afloat and competing at the same level as the Cities and the Liverpools and the Uniteds, because they have bigger stadiums. They have what's the word here? A more of an international brand. Marketing wise, sponsorship deals, they are in a better position than us. This is why Chelsea winning is the only thing that is keeping us afloat, and that's why we have to continue to win, because these prize purses that come in for winning the Champions League, for winning the Premier League, for winning X, Y, and Z tournaments is what's keeping us financially stable, as well as having a very successful billionaire owner. But it's not enough. And this is why you're seeing, the season tickets prices being shifted up. And this is why we need to start to look at expanding our stadium and getting more people to be able to watch and pay for these tickets. Because right now we don't generate the same match day revenue as other clubs, and that is a big factor. Sorry, MDT, I interrupted you. I'll let you continue.
Yeah, Boogie, let me just break it down simply for you. So when we sold Hazard and then Morata money came through, those money financed the buys of Kai and them lot. But guess what? Our wage structure increased because Hazard left, Fabregas left. We made money when we had the ban because their wage come off the Chelsea Their wage came off the books. So we not only made money from selling them, we made money for taking the highest earners off the books. Okay, so but that money we end up spending all on the new players we bought because their wages as well were not low; they were high. So all of a sudden, we didn't save any money. That's what fans fail to understand. We didn't save any money. We end up spending more. If you calculate the amount of people that came off the higher wage earners and the amount of people we put on it. So we end up spending all money and even more. Then when we won the Champions League, there are bonuses involved. All these transfers, whatever, they come with bonuses. If you win this trophy or whatever, you pay extra. Those money and all were paid. And also, there was a COVID situation. Stadiums were not filled. So the money went into that black hole. So we didn't have money to spend. So fans only see, no, we earn this, we earn that. But they're not calculating the expenditures. They're not calculating the shortfalls because of COVID. The money we made all end up going into the black hole. So what ended up happening? Chelsea didn't have any money. We did not have money to spend. That's how it is.
It's true. But I remember that at the beginning of the season, it's not just us fans say, Tamori gone, Gui gone,
Livramento gone,
and Lukaku for 97 million. So good deal. We just be like, oh, Chelsea is one of the cleanest team that is doing the best transfer. So now, when we showing those figures, I'm just like, so all those conversations we had, and even just it's not just us, all the pundits on national news and all those people say that Chelsea has the best transfer because we have a plus and all those things. So why do we now sit here because there's a negative? Yeah.
There was people that were saying it's not a good move the way Chelsea was selling their academy players because of guess what? You buy new players, even the Lukaku. Lukaku was financed by the academy players. Okay, guess what? Lukaku alone, his wages is more than all those academy players put together, and still we will save money if we kept all those academy players on Lukaku's wages alone. So technically, yeah, we sold them and bought Lukaku. But guess what? Our cost of running has increased because of his wages alone, was more than all those academy players put together. So technically, we never save money. This is what finance. It's not simple as selling and buying. You have to check. Okay, you sell and buy, but as your revenue increase or decrease, as your expenditures increase or decrease.
But I understand the principle you're explaining. But 140-something million in debt. I just think.
No, but Boogie, let me see if I can.
No, it's losses, not debt.
No, but Boogie, let me see if I can offer a different perspective. Yeah, so everybody talks about net spend. Yeah, it's really some sort of fake financial thing they've come up with. So you look at the outgoings, your sales compared to your expenditures. You say, okay, we sold these players. I think Chelsea, out of every Premier League club in the last decade, has made the most money from player sales. We made almost 800 million in the last 10 years. So we're very good at selling players and getting value for money, whether it's 50 million for David Luiz, 50 million for Costa, even after he went on strike, 30 million for Courtois, 130 million for Hazard, 50 million for Ramirez, 50 million for Oscar. So we've always been very good at getting value from the market. And that goes to show when you look at we've made the most money from player sales in England, period, the last 10 years. But what people don't understand is this. Every player you buy is considered an asset. Yes, even if I spend 100 million on a player, it's still an asset because I can sell him, I can market him, I can whatever. So when financial fair play is looking at your books, they look at you as you have 100 million assets on your book. Now, wages is gone. The minute you pay the player, it's gone. It's never coming back again. It's gone. So when you see the losses, that's the wages. So Premier League, I think I saw the average Premier League teams. So it's not just Chelsea. All the Premier League teams are going to be in trouble because of the COVID thing. Premier League teams pay 80% of their turnover in wages. So 80% literally comes out and goes into the players and managers' pocket, and then it's gone. Yeah. So that's where the loss comes from. It comes from we have too many players that we're on high wages on the book. So when everybody was saying, "Oh, just pay Rudiger what he wants, just give Christensen what he wants," now we're seeing why they're not, because they can't afford to. You know, that's how Barcelona got. Barcelona didn't get into financial trouble from spending. They got it from giving Messi $1 million a year, from giving Griezmann 800,000 a week, because that money is gone. It's not coming back into the club. If you buy a player, that's an asset. You can sell, you can flip it. We can make 150 million off of Kai Havertz in 3-4 years' time. If Werner turned out to be the player we thought he was going to be, we could have sold him for 100 million. That's an asset. But his wages are gone, and that's the situation we find ourselves in.
I'm just seeing this comment here in Arabic, and he's right. He's right. He's talking about all the teams will be getting their profits from the season past, and they all have had problems. However, the benefit that they will gain, i.e., the profit that they will gain, is from the quality of the players that they acquire, and unfortunately, we haven't acquired a lot of quality. Pod, you're spot on. Chelsea have made some good sales. We've had some good acquisitions, and we were able to flip them for a decent amount of profit, especially
because we wouldn't want to sell Hazard, we wouldn't want to sell
sure. Even Costa, especially Costa. I mean, Courtois and Costa, they left and they wanted to leave, and we were forced to make those sales. Hazard, his heart was at Madrid, and he had 1 year left on his contract, and we were still able to get a good amount of money for him. So that part of it is good, but you see, that part of it is not enough, because it's good that you're able to generate a good revenue from player sales. It's good that we're able to bring through a lot of academy boys who are of a high quality, and they will be sold at a good value, and that will generate a income for Chelsea. But again, that isn't enough, because we don't have the adequate income from the main revenue streams, i.e. ticket sales, fans, sponsorships, marketing, the traditional avenues for investment.
Let me ask you this.
It's limited for Chelsea. Sorry, Pod. Yeah. Chelsea is big in specific locations, but it's not big as a global brand like a Real Madrid, a Barcelona, a Manchester United, a Liverpool. These clubs, they are big as a brand. They are known worldwide. Chelsea is starting to do that. It's beginning to do that, and it's been doing that over the past couple of decades. But those teams have had a lead on us from quite a way back. King Jones, how did you get the link?
My friend, the Podfather.
Right. Okay. He didn't tell me he was sending you the link. Guys. Just so you know, the link for this stream is private, so I only send it to specific people. King Jones, welcome. You're here now, so welcome. Just introduce yourself. Let me know a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into this conversation.
So my name is King Jones. I host a YouTube channel with the Podfather where we talk about all kinds of football gossip, related transfer news. Doing it for a while now. I'm actually not. It's controversial. I am not a Chelsea fan, but I'm such a massive fan of your channel. I think Podfather told me about you earlier. Yeah. You're an Arsenal fan, correct? Yeah, but I would see myself as a football fan first. So the first thing I want to do is, and obviously, when he told me about this stream that's going to open, especially with Lukaku and everything that's going on, it was just a fantastic opportunity for me to try and get involved. Welcome. Listen, King Jones, welcome. It's good to have you on, and not being a Chelsea fan per se, I would love to get your point of view on this whole thing. The story broke today. What Lukaku said, the way he said it, the context
in the way that he said it. The situation financially with Chelsea also became apparent to us today. So I would love to get a neutral fans or a neutral perspective on all these subjects. So take it away, mate. The mic is yours.
So I thought it was amazing. Actually, the podfather, he actually called me and he told me before I started looking at articles, and I was very, very surprised for multiple different reasons. The first reason I was surprised is not the fact that Lukaku, said that he loves Inter. He was only there for 2 years. I always saw Lukaku as someone I thought generally had a genuine love for Chelsea due to the fact he came when he was, 16, 17, the fact that he was trying to break into the team the first time, the fact that he constantly spoke about Chelsea and thought, yeah, maybe one day I'll come back. And also the fact that he just came back and started scoring goals. So I thought I have all these times, all these moments, talking about we're chasing the pack, we're trying to catch up with everybody. This was just a very peculiar thing to do, especially halfway through the season. You spent 100 mil. Inter Milan have kind of moved on with Dzeko and everybody. So I don't understand what actually was going on. And when I see someone with 100 mil, someone, it's not even about the money, but I see a star player like him. I always thought that, if he's out the team, he'd have the sort of the sort of backbone kind of to I'm going to fight for my place back. Not the sort of, I want the whole team to be built around me. I want the strategy to be around me. Because I think he's a great player. I think at Inter Milan, he was fantastic. I think at Everton, those were his kind of best seasons. Even at his best, I would never see Chelsea making the whole strategy about Lukaku. We've got too many fantastic players. You've got a fantastic manager. And I just don't think he's that sort of one-man team to take you guys to where you want to be, constantly in the Premier League and challenging and constantly challenging for the Champions League. So for him to kind of say, it doesn't suit me, well, work around it. You know what I mean? Work around it. You're 28 years old. This is a massive opportunity for you. You're going to have the fans coming against you. You're going to have the players in the dressing room. I don't know what's going to happen there. You know what I'm saying? And now the manager's kind of in a weird position because Chelsea are about to play Liverpool, aren't you, on Sunday? Does he play? Is he on the bench? What happens? It's very, very strange, very peculiar. I've never seen anything like it, to be honest.
Can I come in on that?
Yep.
Big up, King. That's some real talk there. And I appreciate what you have to say about that. But I still think that if you're going to buy somebody for £97 million to bring into your setup, you have to have a means for him a way for him to play. Like you have to have an idea in your head about how you intend to use him, right? So this is kind of why I'm like, okay, well, was he the right buy? Was he Tuchel's buy? Or was it just another one of Chelsea's marquee signings, like how they buy, Havertz with no system to build around him, they buy all these players and don't necessarily have an actual structure or system to utilize them correctly. And then they fire the manager because the manager's, is brought in to get the best out of these players, but they don't fit his system, So I don't know. I just feel like if you're bringing in Lukaku, there has to be a method to the madness. You have to be thinking about what it is that you're trying to get out of him. Like we all know that Lukaku's better on the counterattack. He loves running the channels. He likes to get the ball early to make decisions on the ball early. And none of that is indicative to what Tuchel wants to play or has been playing with Chelsea. We're a ball possession team. We're trying to unlock teams in the final third, interplay, 1-2 passes, all that stuff. And this is not necessarily playing to Lukaku's strengths. One thing that I have kind of been trying to track the last little while is yes, Tuchel must have spoken to him though, because he said that he's spoken to him about the style of play that he wants to do at Chelsea. And if that's the case, why are we not seeing that? I think this is it's kind of like dualistic. We're kind of looking at two things now, where Lukaku, hasn't really done the club any real good because he shouldn't be putting that stuff out in the media, first of all. But at the same time, if Tuchel's trying to lure him to the club by telling him he's going to play this particular style of football, and then it's the exact opposite of what he signed up for, then, I mean, who's to blame for that, right? It goes two ways at this point.
I'd like to ask Couch something. Couch, when you say Lukaku is £100 million player and pretty much the biggest investment for Chelsea, anybody here can tell me what the market value of Mason Mount is?
I would say right now, if you go to transfer market, he's probably in and around 70.
Kai Havertz 70. Hudson-Odoi 70, right?
Hudson-Odoi 70? I don't know about that.
Okay, we bought the CP10 for 60 or 50. 58. So the point is, when Kings just said, Chelsea team, if you look at the team, we don't have, it's not like a Lukaku is £100 million. All the other are 30 million pounds. Like
No,
we
but
all,
that's just compounded what I've been saying before. Though we're buying
yeah, but
players
they're
without having
all
to
in
set
a
up their
certain
system in
gap.
place to exalt their strengths. You know, like when we bought like Kai Havertz, like Lampard tried him in three different roles, and then finally Tuchel settled on him as a false nine. You know, but he played the 8. He played out wide on the right, and then he also played striker. And all three didn't work. Everyone said it was Lukaku. It was like it was because Lampard doesn't know how to use him. Well, we brought in a tactician in Tuchel, and Tuchel's trying to play him at false nine.
No, yeah, I understand all that.
Sorry, Boogie. You just made a very important point, Nick Couch. Lampard didn't know how to use Kai Havertz because Lampard didn't want Kai Havertz.
Exactly.
So why did Chelsea spend that money to bring in Kai Havertz? And this is what I'm talking about in regards to spending money responsibly.
Exactly what I was going to say, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier. We don't have a sporting director, somebody that has a structure in place of how we want to play football. What they've done is bought a bunch of marquee players, just threw them in like a blender and said, like, okay, manager, figure out how to play with these guys. We got these incredible world-class talents, or at least generational youngsters or whatnot. Show me that you can like devise a system to use them all correctly. And I'm sorry, that takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of work and a lot of time. You don't just throw things in a blender and expect it to come out tasting like the smoothie I just made for my son, by the way. You have to have the right ingredients, right? You have the right ingredients. And, we basically bought a bunch of strikers. Like Kai Havertz is a striker. Lukaku's a striker. Werner is a striker. Like, I don't get what we're trying to accomplish right now.
Score goals. We can't.
No number 10s, all strikers. Nobody that can creatively unlock the team.
But I think when you look at Lukaku's comments, he kind of intimated that, and it could be a bold thing because it could be like Tuchel had plans to bring in certain players in the summer, and for whatever reason it didn't work out. So he's saying, I'm going to play you the same. I'm going to get Hakimi, who's played with you at Inter Milan. He's going to bomb down the right. I'm going to get some midfielder, whether it's Tchouameni or this or whatever. That may have been the discussions they had, but then just as when you make promises, when you make promises, because those were the players we were linked with constantly. Chelsea are definitely going to bid. Chelsea are definitely going to buy Hakimi. Chelsea 100% out for a right wing back, 100% out for a DM. These were the club briefing us. This was Matt Lord. So this is the actual club saying that these are our targets. Yeah. So when we're courting Lukaku and saying you're gonna come here, we're gonna play you as a 2 and we're gonna play you as a 2 with Werner. We're gonna have a holding midfielder, so we don't have to have the pivot. We're gonna have a right wing back that just gets forward and crosses the ball. All those things could have been promised to him. I don't think Tuchel coming into this season said, "Oh, I only want one player." I don't think that was his ideal solution at the beginning. I don't think he looked at that squad that barely got top 4 last year. People forget. Yeah, Tottenham had to win on the last day of the season first to get top 4.
Pause further. Let not just add stuff to what Lukaku said. What Lukaku said, we all read it. The system. Tuchel promised him a system, not players.
Yeah, but the system can only be played with certain players. Don't add it. Like that's why MDT got me lost most of the time. People that add stuff to it's not in the transcript. The transcript, Tuchel criticized. Lukaku is criticizing Tuchel's system. It's not about don't add players. No. He's not criticizing the system.
The system that Tuchel promised him, Tuchel changed his mind or something. So
yes,
it's not about players or anything.
But I'm saying that there must be a reason why Tuchel changed his mind after promising your 100 million striker. We're going to build the
guys. He said Lukaku said he is unhappy at the Tuchel system. You're adding the word promise. He didn't say that he promised me this. He said hold on. He's unhappy at the Tuchel system.
Yes.
Okay. Now I don't want to address what Lukaku said, to be honest. I don't want to address it. Because he should not have had any conversation of that nature with the press. That conversation is between him and the gaffer. for him to address it in the press, whatever he said, it could be good, it could be bad. You don't have that conversation with the press. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, having that conversation is a big X. The other part of that conversation, which we also talked about, is what he said in regards to the fans. That whole interview is bad news for Chelsea. That whole interview is bad news for Chelsea. However, that interview being released today, the same day that the financial report was being released, kinda is not a coincidence, because that interview happened 3 weeks ago. So for it to be coming out today, there's a reason for that. Okay, and the reason for that is they don't want us to be talking about the misfortunes that Chelsea are currently having financially. But for me, as a Chelsea fan, I think that is the biggest factor right now. The Lukaku thing, that has got to be dealt with by the club, by the manager. The man's got to be disciplined, and the man needs to apologize for what he did, for what he said. That is one side of it. The major issue I have today is, why is Chelsea in such a problem financially?
Okay, Cass,
We shouldn't be. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this: Are Chelsea fans, ready to not have the marquee signings, go and buy the young up and coming players, like as we've seen Arsenal do, and get slandered in the press? But when the players first got there, no more. Oh, we've been linked with Alaba, or we've been linked with Haaland, or whatever. Are Chelsea fans ready to go down?
Something before you continue.
Yes, I'm listening.
Go ahead, Mo.
We've bought the young player. We bought the players the young players at an expensive cost.
Yeah,
that's the problem. It's not marquee. We've not been signing marquee superstar. We've been signing young players at an expensive cost.
I understand
okay,
that, but
I don't mind you going to sign, like, let's say I don't mind you signing a marquee player for 70 million. That's already 26, 27. I don't mind that, because that means you want to win now. But if you sign a potential for 70 million, 60 million, that's crazy, because potential, that's what it is. It's a potential. It's not a marquee signing.
It
we
is.
are spending marquee signing fee on potential.
It is.
And that's the problem.
It
and
is.
we're paying them marquee wages.
It is more, but people are forgetting. We got Werner on the cheap. Yeah, you don't get a striker scoring that many goals in Germany for 35 million. You just don't. We got Ziyech on the cheap. The only one that you're talking about, the people that we probably overspent on were Chilwell. Ziyech, I still don't think we overspent on him. Not Ziyech, Havertz. Based on what everybody around Europe said at the time, based on the clubs that were linked with him, based on the way everybody talked about him, I think now we can look back and say, well, maybe the price was too much. But at the time, I don't think so. So really, you're looking at Chilwell.
I said it at the time. Bayern Munich was only willing to spend 40 million on him. So as soon as that happened, I said it. Chelsea fans thought I was crazy. No, it's this, is that. I said, believe it. If Bayern is only willing to spend 40 million on him, I don't believe Chelsea should do that, because it's potential. But Chelsea went full gung-ho to play the release clause. Yeah.
I agree. Also, when I saw the Havertz thing happening, I saw all the outlets saying it was too much money. They did say he was a quality player, but the criticisms were, what team was he playing for, what major tournaments, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Like, so I thought 70-something million was definitely overpriced at the time. I personally thought he was, anyway, by far.
Yo, Arsenal fan, man.
No. Listen, Chelsea side. For me, I don't think your transfer policy is that bad.
Never mind, man. Keep going. You've spoken some truth there.
I think your transfer policy isn't that bad. I think the fact that you guys bring in youth players and sell them out at much more than you buy them for, I think that's fantastic. I think a lot of teams should do stuff like that. I just think a couple bad signings over the last couple of years, you're not getting your money back, because up until a certain point, you'll get your money back from Rata and those players. Even Costa, when he was going off and all that, you got your money back for him. It's just, I look at Kepa, those sort of signings, and it just didn't really work out the last 3 or 4 years. Kepa was massive though. I think nobody talks about that signing, but Kepa was massive. 72 million for a goalkeeper that's on the bench. That's a lot. Yeah, man.
The thing is signings like that really kind of get under our skin. The Kepa signings, and you see, right now we are currently going through a problem with 2 of our centre backs, Christensen and Tony Rudiger. And we are paying £100,000 a week to a player who we brought in as a midfielder who we do not want to play. We would rather play centre-backs in midfield than to put him in there. All right? And we also had to pay a £5 million sign-on fee. Saul Niguez. And you know, when we see the club doing that, it really gets us, you know, upset because, you know, Chelsea should not be making mistakes like that, especially after scouting him for 2 years. That's a kicker. We've been scouting him for 2 years and we still, you know, didn't see this coming. You know, things of that nature really, you know, upset us. I mean, Chelsea are a fantastic club. You know, we are winners. We win. We're a club that, you know, that is continuously winning trophies, winning titles. However, we've done that because of a specific model. You know, if a manager comes in, he knows he's got to win. Otherwise, he's gone. He's gone. He's out of that. He top four. That's not enough. You got to win something. All right, and that is the pressure we put on ourselves as fans and as a club. Now, this is why when we have a player like Lukaku who has the respect and the administration, what's the word? He's admired by so many of us because he was here when he was a kid. All right, we want to see him succeed at Chelsea. And then he, you know, turns around and talks about the love that he has for Inter Milan fans while he's supposed to be representing our badge. That's disrespectful.
It is.
It's just hard to swallow. It's hard to swallow. And the problem is Chelsea have not been in this kind of situation. And to be honest, you know, it could be that we're blowing this out of proportion because all clubs are going to record losses. All clubs are going to record losses. COVID, no people, you know, no fans in the stadiums. All clubs are going to record losses. So, you know, is this figure? I mean, because I like I said, I'm not a financial expert. Is this figure and the value of this loss, could it be, you know, pushed onto COVID, or is it because we made mistakes elsewhere? If it's COVID, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's a pandemic, and you know we've got to accept it. But if it's because of other aspects, then that's got to be addressed.
We'll know soon as other clubs' records come out. Because if it's COVID, then it'll be for everybody. You know, so we'll slowly get that information.
Tottenham already published theirs. I think they lost 96 million.
Yeah, because even
Tottenham 96 million with the new stadium.
Yeah, no fans.
but at least they still now they got a new stadium.
Yeah, because no fans.
No fans. They couldn't put on their concerts, all the things that they had planned for the stadium. They had to cancel. Yeah, you know, and that was all the NFL games, all the this, all of that.
Abramovic needs to dip in his pocket. So that's all it takes, man. I don't. And the other thing is, Marina was, I think she won an award last time for the best sporting director or best transfer director or whatever that thing is. What exactly that was exactly?
Yeah, best executive in Europe. That's just what we won the Champions League, really. So I don't think I wouldn't read too much into it. They just give it to.
No, okay, good. But because those figures coming out, I don't think she's been doing a good job at it.
Can I ask a question? Like, do you guys think that the financial losses look even worse because of your contracts that are running out, and you're thinking, you know, you might not get any money for Azpilicueta or Christensen or Rudiger, you know, like possibly into the next summer, you're thinking about who you guys are going to sell to try and get some money back, and is it added on to what's looking in the future, or are you just basing it on now? Even if you went on to have a good season, the financial losses are still a major issue for you.
No, for me, for me, thank you, King. For me personally, I'm basing it on the future, because guess what? We liquidate a lot of good assets to finance Lukaku, but we didn't have any. You know, for me, cash reserve is more important than profit and loss, whatever. When you're looking at club, their cash reserve. We don't have any cash reserve. Chelsea can only spend 70 million a season. That's the problem. We have to sell to add anything on top of that.
That's according
to
this
season coming, we need 5 center defenders. Yes. And based on these losses now, I don't even know whether we can do that. But guess what? We need four or five central defenders next season, and we might need one midfielder. So how are we gonna finance needing 6 players with this financial situation we're in without selling the young players, the academy players? You're talking about they're the assets here. They're the asset. They're the one that we can sell, make a lot of profit, a lot of money. They're the one that their wages are cheap. People can come for them very quickly, and people are willing to pay. That's the Callum, the Mount, the Reece. The Reeces, the Gallagher, the Gilmores. They're the money. It's not the Kai, the whatever. Those are not the money. If you want to check financially, that's why Chelsea's been selling the academy players more, because it's more money when you check it. Because each time you sell a player, you sell them, you give them like a loyalty bonus as well. So let's say you sell a player for 40 million. The bonus can be from 5 to 10 million out of that 40 million. That's their loyalty bonus at the club. If they don't request being, like if a player didn't hand in a transfer request, if you're selling that player, they're entitled to a selling bonus, like a loyalty bonus. So people don't, unless the player waives that. Okay, so imagine that. If you want to sell Mount for 70 million, okay, Mount will be entitled to almost 10% of that because of loyalty to Chelsea. So Chelsea is not getting the 70 million upfront. People don't get that. They're getting 63 or whatever. Mount is getting the 7 million for his loyalty. So these are the things people that fans don't see the intricacy of our finance. They think that, oh, we sold them for 100 million. No, you don't get the whole 100 million. The player gets something as well. The only time the player gets no money is if they hand in a transfer request.
Exactly.
So our assets are the academy players. If Chelsea want to be in good financial step, I won't be surprised this summer we sell one of them, even Gallagher, because of this situation, or Gilmore. I wouldn't be surprised. The fans shouldn't come and start screaming and kicking. If they are sold to maintain the financial structure of the club, and also to fulfill the fans' dream of signing Kai, for signing Pulisic, for signing Timo. If you want Marquis signing, you have to give something to have something. So I'm not going to be here screaming, kicking and screaming, because the financial situations need to be adjusted accordingly.
Yeah.
Sorry,
can I
King,
just
that's
comment
my
on that, MDT? Sorry. There's a couple things that I wanted to ring in on there, because I think that you've touched on some good points there. Number one, yes, this structure of the club and what we've set up since Emanalo was based on the idea that we're using the academy to generate revenue to buy marquee players for the club. That's not changed. That is exactly how we bought Lukaku in the summer. None of the money came from, actual winnings or earnings from the year previous. We basically sold all of the academy stars to bring in this Lukaku guy. Second to that, the reason why I have problems now with the board, and I know we talked about this, MDT, was the fact that when Maurizio Sarri came in, when we were looking at Maurizio Sarri, how long did it take to get that deal over the line? It took however long, like months dragging on. Where I remember hearing about it in the beginning of the year, the calendar year, and he didn't actually get signed or released from his contract till somewhere in July or something like that. Then, or maybe even like 2 weeks into the preseason. So there's a knock-on effect to that now. He needs to get his players. He needs to. We also had to get rid of Courtois and bring in Kepa, right? Because it's taken so long to get this manager in, which should have been easy. Just pay the release clause and he's yours. They didn't want to do that. They're nickel and diming over that. And then once it's actually got to the point where it's basically now or never, they finally get it done. And then we're playing catch up the entire summer to try and get the likes of Courtois' situation has settled. The likes of I believe even Hazard wanted to leave at that point, and they convinced him to stay. And then we had to bring in Jorginho. We had to bring in Kovačić. Like, there's a ton of things that needed to get done. And the knock-on effect of that is, like, we spent so much money. Because you remember that very next year, Chelsea were in the red for, like, somewhere in and around £241 million or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Because of – and Roman actually ended up having to underwrite that. I don't think you guys remember that. There was the year-end I think it was the first year with Sarri. We were in the red 241
Yeah,
million.
he has to pay money. Abramovich took money out of his own pocket to put into the club.
Abramovich
You're right.
underwrote
Carl.
that. And he's going to do it again this time. Let's be honest. He's going to do it again. Like, we're not going to be in too much financial difficulty. But these are the knock-on effects of just poor management, right? Like, again, like not putting together a plan in place that allows for a natural succession. You say you don't want to bring Antonio, you don't want to work with Antonio Conte anymore. Okay, what's the next move? Why is it taking you so long to get these moves over the line? We've heard Bobby knock on about this forever, and it's true. Like, we can't ignore it anymore. Like, we're paying overs because
that's the thing, Couch. I want to ask you, because I wish Bobby was here, because I sent him the link. I don't know where he is, because I want to have this conversation. Is Marina Granovkaia at fault here, or is there something more to this?
Is she at fault for the Lukaku situation?
No, for the whole financial dilemma, the whole because Couch. I mean, Barry Burton says I wouldn't jump the gun on the finances. Let's not overreact. I agree. This isn't a big problem for us financially, but it's a problem. Now, are we here because of Marina, or are we here because of COVID? Is it a combination of both?
Though. It has to be a combination of both, right? I mean, under her direction, we signed a bunch of players that we can't really capitalize on, right? Like, there's guys sitting on the bench and we can't sell them. Let's not even forget that we sold Zuma. We're supposed to bring in Koundé, and they couldn't get the Koundé deal over the line. Like, these are all gaps that come from the directors, from the position of the director. Like, the finances, yes, of course it's part COVID, but it's also the fact that, like, when we sign like players like Havertz for overs, because they just want to get it over the line with no structure, no idea of how they want to play football. Like, all of these things are coming to roost right now. Right? Yes, COVID is a huge factor, but at the same time, it can't be the only factor right now. Like, we have mismanaged a lot of Chelsea contracts and talent. Like, how many players do we have on loan right now because we can't sell them? Bakayoko, Zappacosta, Emerson, Batshuayi. Like, these are all players that are bought with either the intent to play within the first team or to increase their value and sell on. And we can't do
they're
that.
all making
There's players in the squad.
They're all making
players
more
in
than
the
100.
And there's players in the squad that we don't, because we were talking about the squad depth yesterday, and we said, Max Burton was saying, how do we make room for these players? Well, listen, Malang Sarr shouldn't be in the squad. Ross Barkley shouldn't be in the squad. Marcos Alonso shouldn't be in the squad, and I can name a few more. Okay, so they're in the squad because we bought them. We're paying their wages.
They're not sellable assets. That's why they're in the squad.
Exactly.
Exactly. When people ask, why are we sending the youth team players? Because we need the money. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not a mystery. The reason why Gallagher goes, we get a nice loan fee for him, 8 million. And they pay their wage.
Do you know Baba Rahman? Baba Rahman was on 100 plus. And he wasn't even playing. We had to keep loaning him to get his wages off the books.
Yeah, but the
why?
Cup of Nation, yeah?
Sorry?
The man is playing African Cup of Nation. Like, he's still playing.
Boogie, he wasn't playing for Chelsea. He wasn't. We bought him to play as a left back, but he wasn't to the standard or to the level.
No, but listen,
why do Chelsea do that? Why do Chelsea bring players? And then we discover they're not to the standard, to the level. Why don't we do that before?
No, but I think you have to look overall. So that stats I quoted before, that we've made the most money from player sales, which means that more than not we gamble and it tends to pay off. And even when the situation goes wrong, we tend to rectify. Like when you buy Morata for, I think, 60-something million, he's a flop, but you can still sell him the next year for like 55 million. That's brilliant. That's brilliant business.
Those are few and far between, though. Those
thing
types
was
of
a flop, and we
sales
still
are few and
managed
far
to get.
between, though.
Sorry?
I'm saying, like, those types of signings of Morata, that's few and far between. More often than not,
but the thing is,
with this dead weight and just sending them on loan.
No, some are dead weight, but the dead weight always seems more. It's more visible. So if I go to like Liverpool, yeah, Keita is dead weight. They bought him for 50 million. He's been a flop. Oxlade-Chamberlain gets injured. He plays like 10 games every season. They pay 35 million for him. Yeah, you go to every club, they have these guys there, but if the team is successful, nobody talks about it. If we were winning leagues like how we used to under Mourinho or Conte, Mourinho bought loads of players that we just never even bothered to use. Smerton, what's the guy's name? Yarasek. We had like 10 players that they used to come in for 10 games. They'd be there. They'd collect their thing for Chelsea, and after a couple of years, they would just go out by the back door. That's just been our policy for a long time. I think the difference now is football has gone crazy and the wages are all over the place. And that's where the chickens are coming home to. When you have players of 300,000 a week, 350, one transfer can kill you. Yeah, because you make the wrong transfer, it doesn't work out. That's when it becomes an issue. Like look at Liverpool. They still haven't given Mo Salah his contract yet. Why not? Because they have to think about the finances. You can't just say, "Oh, take this 400,000. You're the best player ever. You're Premiership legend." They can't do that. They have to go after every detail, every penny with him.
Don't you think, Podfather, that what we're seeing right now is a byproduct of the fact that we just bought poorly, though? Because
no, it is. No, we've definitely bought poorly.
COVID is
we've definitely bought poorly. It's COVID, but I also think it's just the way the game is going now. When we compare ourselves to the likes of Bayern, who can like pretty much go and just buy any German young German player coming up in their league, they can pretty much take any player from any team there, and they wait like almost like the contract is running out. So they're in like a very unique position. The Premiership is very competitive. Yeah, so we take 1 or 2 years. We're not going to buy players. We're going to be very conservative, and you get left behind. Arsenal has spent more than us in the last 5 years. They spent 360 million. We spent 250 or 260, something like that. Yeah, Man City has spent the most. Yeah, Liverpool probably spent the least, but they have such a good core. They've been able to maintain. But what happens when Salah and Mane stop performing? They're going to go through their rebuilding thing as well. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of cycles going on here, and it's just we have to be aware of everything. But definitely, can we get better value for money? Yes, but I think it's all about stages. Because sometimes you just get lucky. You get Messi, you get Ronaldo, and that changes the complete trajectory of your club.
Yeah, but I just don't think.
About Barcelona has Messi, but it didn't change their trajectory. Right?
No, but I'm saying it did because they had Iniesta, all these players come through at the same time. They got lucky, but they can't reproduce that again. No matter how much they try with their academy, those players are once of a generation.
But what I would say, before you quickly talk about salaries, is I look at Chelsea now or the last couple of years, and I relate it a lot to Real Madrid. What Real Madrid's model has. Real Madrid chose their model to really like buy the biggest and best. Obviously, you guys haven't bought the biggest and best, but you bought some of the best young talents, some of the best talents out there. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. The problem is, the way I see with Chelsea's model is just like Real Madrid's model, you guys don't cater to a manager and you don't personally have a philosophy, or you're willing to change it to win. And that's okay, because obviously, as an Arsenal guy, we've changed philosophies. We've, tried to play a certain type of way and it just hasn't worked. And you guys, it's worked. But at some point, it crashes. You know what I'm saying? And right now, you're just seeing a little crash. But, winning the Champions League last season and being in the top 3 is not so bad for a team that, look like they're crashing. But with the salaries that I'm seeing there, that's just a lot, man. These days, shifting salary.
Bro, that's not even the worst. Look at Malang Sarr. Look what Malang Sarr is on. The guy that wasn't even supposed to be in the squad. And this is the problem. Like, I'm talking about, this is just a mismanagement. This is...
And also, King.
Yes.
King, you have a point about us being like Real Madrid. But one thing we're different from Real Madrid is we are paying our young players that we are buying too much. We are paying them star money. Real Madrid, when they buy young, they don't pay that much. They pay big money to superstars, because Real Madrid revenue is almost is approaching two and a half times what Chelsea. Twice our revenue now, if I'm not mistaken, because their revenue is approaching 800 million, if I'm not mistaken, this year. Okay, so guess what? They're paying their young players. They're paying them. They will buy young players. They will pay 40 million for a young player. It's not a problem for Real Madrid. Even 30 million. They will pay you, but not 150. This is our problem. We are buying names. We are buying big names. We are buying players, young players. Big players. And it's costing us, the salary is big money. Real Madrid, they sign players, but they don't, the wages, that's where the problem is. Chelsea, our problem is the wage we're paying for these young players that we are buying. Like example, if you pay 72 million for Kai, you pay Kai 70,000 a week. That's not a problem. But if you pay Kai 150, 155 for his age, you are in deep problem. These are the things. And to pay 72 million for a 21-year-old, that's crazy. Nobody does that. Especially a 21-year-old that's up and coming. He has not done it yet.
I
So
don't
these are
think
the things. You can pay 50 million for them. Yeah, that's understandable.
I wouldn't say nobody does it. It's nobody that has the sort of like that has to be as efficient as Chelsea in their wage demands that does it. Like Real Madrid do it all the time. You know, Barcelona do it all the time. You know, but PSG do it all the time. But Chelsea don't have the same sort of like economic structure that is conducive to doing those types of deals, and yet we still do them. You know, we still do them. That's the problem.
Also, the league is more competitive here, so PSG can kind of get away with buying Mbappe and then just winning the league by 15 points. It doesn't look so bad. Whereas, you know, Chelsea buy a player. Like right now, I still think obviously you guys are one of the best teams in the league. But if you finish third, 10, 12 points behind Man City, even though Man City have been the best team in the league right now, it's some sort of, you know, big issue. You know, Real Madrid can buy 5 or 6 players, win the league with 82 points, you know, and lose 7 or 8 games, and it's still been a fantastic season for them. It's just less competitive over there than it is here. Like the teams here, like Liverpool,
more
almost perfect at times.
Yeah.
Mo, can you do? If I send you like Man City, their wage structure, you will see it. Like some of these, their players, their top players. Like when they buy them young, like Diaz is 23 when they bought him. You will see his wages. They don't pay when they buy young. Even if they pay 60 million for you, they don't pay you this 150. I don't understand where Chelsea start doing this for. When this happened, Man City will pay like 110, whatever. Even Bernardo Silva, he was on 110 when they signed him. I think 70. Then they signed him to a new contract. He ended up earning 100. Why are we giving first contract to young players like we signed from abroad, 150? That's crazy. By the time you renew that contract, they will be on 300. Because obviously you have to increase the contract by minimum 50% to 100% when you're renewing it. So is the money we offering them is out of this world. That's what I don't understand. Why? We never used to do this. We used to be one of the best run club when it comes to paying salary to young players.
Yeah, but
all of a sudden, we are out of this world. We went boogeyman.
Go on, Boogie.
No. What I'm saying is, Kai Havertz was.
If they don't want to come, you move. You move. You find the next one.
MDT, you're lagging. You're lagging, MDT. Go on, Boogie.
No. Exactly. I think you heard it. And what I was trying to say is, we wanted Kai Havertz back then, and when he was signed, we were all happy, right? So when it comes to whatever we paid him, we trust our board to make the right decision. So now we notice that they're not making the proper decisions. But I'm not going to sit down here and say, why did we pay 120 per week to Havertz? Havertz is a talent. At that time, I think that money was the only reason why he came to Chelsea. And so, listen, I understand the minus 140 million that we had, and we're all panicking about it. But I think it's a business. It's a COVID. For me, I put it on the COVID. And Roman has to dip in his pocket and just cover that holes, and we move on with. I mean, listen. What else? What else do we have to say? We need those players. Havertz is a talent. I'm pretty sure Havertz is going to his market value in 2 or 3 years is going to be like skyrocket. It's probably going to be.
Yeah, one would like to hope that. That's the gamble. But the problem isn't Kai Havertz necessarily. Like he won us the Champions League, so that
and the other amounts.
That is something that we can like hang our hat on. He won us the Champions League. The problems I have is the Ross Barkley contracts. You know, the Milan Sars.
Respect. Hey, Couch.
You hear me, right?
Barkley
You hear
is
where I'm
my
going with
man,
this, right?
and I will back Barkley. Okay.
You know where I'm
drink
going
water.
with this. Like, look at the wages. Like, obviously Ben Chilwell's a decent player, but 190 million or 190K a week.
A defender.
That's ridiculous. You know, Sal Niguez. Like, these are our top earners right now. Timo Werner on 272,000 pounds a week. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but so
Marcus
why
Alonso,
are
100,000
we
pounds
not
a week.
risking selling them then? Like Timo Werner, like that. Like I know he's a good player.
He's not going anywhere. Nobody can afford those wages.
Yeah, but let's take the loss then and just sell him. Why not?
Take what loss? He's not going anywhere. Nobody's going to give him that money.
So everybody has told me on this panel that the wages are the issue. So if we find a team that will sign Werner, why don't we just give them away? Like
Okay,
for free?
but then we have to subsidize the wages, right? Is that what you're saying?
No. We like if the team want to buy it if the team want to buy Kai Havertz for 40 million, for example,
Right.
we say okay, take the 40 million and we give you another 10 million back for his wages and we sign another contract.
Yeah, and you know what the problem is there, Boogie? Then as soon as you sell him, especially this early in the deal, his book value goes like MD2 is talking about the amortized transfer fee. So like it's spread over the length of the contract. As soon as you sell him, that becomes on the book as the value. So whatever's left on that deal. So if there's like 56 million left on that deal, that's what shows on your bottom line the moment you sell him.
You have to remember that with financial fair play, they look at the players that you've bought as your assets. So that's how they allow you to spend and overspend. Yeah. So if you're giving away players for free, then you have no assets. So they won't allow you to go in depth. Yeah, they won't allow you to be making losses and all that sort of stuff. Then you get sanctioned, and you're out of Europe. So you need to somehow keep these players, and hopefully you sell them.
So I have another question. The FA was talking about putting a cap on player wages. Anyone got any update on that one?
No chance.
No chance of that.
No chance. It's a free market economy.
When did this come out? I didn't hear about
it. It was last year after the whole debacle with the Super League or whatever.
Oh,
and then
okay.
They were talking about restructuring, like Premier League and stuff. In La Liga, they have a wage structure, so it's not impossible, but it's
so why no chance here? I just want to hear why no chance.
Because the clubs have to vote for it.
One second. Luke, you're late, mate. We've been talking about Lukaku for the past 2 hours. We only changed to this topic in the past half an hour. So you're late. You're gonna have to go back and watch the stream again. It's a good discussion. Good discussion, Luke. Before I go to Eric Blue, lads, I'm gonna be away from Twitter for a little while. I'll have to be honest with you guys. I've not been happy with Twitter. Wanted to quit it, but some people asked me to stay on and just keep using it. The amount of toxic vibes I'm getting from Twitter, I'm just moving away from it. I'm gonna be posting on Instagram a little bit more than Twitter moving forward. I will check Twitter every now and then, but I'm not going to be active on it as I used to be. So just letting people know, those of you who follow me on Twitter, that's going to be the case for a little while. We'll see how long it lasts for.
That's not fair to me, man. You brought me on Twitter. You know that, right?
I know I did. I know I brought a lot of people with me on Twitter. What's JJ saying? Big up, guys. What now with the Lukaku? No. Boogie. Listen, Boogie became a Twitter user after I asked him to, because he came on the stream, direct, no Twitter, no nothing, direct. But then he had to expand to keep up with the pace. So Luke, we spoke about Lukaku. So JJ, thank you for the donation. Big up, guys. Now with the Lukaku and this mess. Listen,
can I just tell Boogie this before you go?
Before you, all right, go on. Boogie ain't going nowhere. Where's Boogie going?
Yeah, Boogie. 7 players in our squad. They're responsible for almost 70% of the players' salary.
What are they?
Of the entire squad. Lukaku, Werner, Chilwell, Pulisic, Kai,
Havertz,
Havertz,
Saul,
and Kepa.
Saul Niguez.
And
Saul
Saul.
Niguez.
Sorry,
Kante.
8. They're responsible. And Kante, sorry. 8, 9 now. No, if you add Kante and then they're responsible for almost 45% of the entire 20, is it 25-man squad? Salary. Just those 8 or 9 players we're talking about. So let that sink in.
All right, listen, lads. Listen, Couch. You brought this to my attention. I didn't even realize. 13 more likes before we get to 100. I want you guys to push us to that 100 like mark. Before I go to Julius and Eric Blue, King Jones, do me a favor. In the private chat, if you can link me your channel, I wanna have a look at it and then get people to also check it out. So send it to me in the private chat. I'd appreciate that. Eric Blue, welcome. Julius, welcome. I know you guys have a lot to say. So let me hear it.
Thank you, Mo. Thanks for having us. It's been a long time.
Julius, how you feeling, brother? I know you had an accident, so how you feeling? You good?
Yeah. I still have like a chest pain, so talking does hurt me a little bit, but it's a lot better now.
Good. I'm glad. Well, you are going to have to do a bit of talking, mate, because your favourite player has just put his foot in it. He's put his foot in it big time.
Yeah, I was shocked. It was actually by coincidence I came across this statement. I saw it on Fabrizio's page, and I was really surprised. It's full of contradictions. He is saying he wants to stay professional, but everything he did was unprofessional. So if you're really keen to be professional, why are you talking about it like that? Even if you want to sympathize with him and say, you know what, things did not go well for him. He was he had COVID. He had injury. But why are you taking shots on the manager? You disrespected your teammates. You disrespected the fans who supported you unconditionally, most of them at least. And it's typical Lukaku. I don't think this guy has the proper attitude. He is a very selfish human being with high ego. So I'm not surprised at all to see him doing this in a tough period. Like, look at the timing as well. You're a part of the team who's struggling so much this season because of a lot of injuries and because of the FA being typically biased against Chelsea with the amount of injuries and the congested schedule. Other teams will have 2 weeks off. We don't get that. And then you come out and you put more gas to the fire, on top of the fire in a very critical period. What kind of professionalism is that? It's disgusting. And honestly, I will never be able to trust him, you know? I hope he does his job until the end of the season, but I tell you that I don't think this is going to sit well with either the club and Tuchel. I don't think even the board, the Chelsea club, the football club itself, they're not going to put up with what he's done, I think. So let's see how that folds up at the end.
Yeah, no. To be fair, Julius, you were a lot kinder than I was. I ripped him to shreds. I couldn't control it, but maybe it's because I was expecting so much from him that I had him on this pedestal, and he just totally fell. So I'm glad you were a little bit more calmer in your approach to this. Before I go to Eric, lads, I wanna. Eric, say something. Let me hear it. Let me hear if your audio is working.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, you're good. I can hear you. You're good. Before I go to Eric, listen, people. Whenever we have a guest on our show that has a YouTube channel, that has links on social media, I'd like to give him a shout out because by being on the show, they have contributed to the show. Podfather's been here many a time and he's always had a good stance and also contributed well when it comes to his opinions. Today we have his partner in crime, King Jones, also with us on the stream. They have a channel. It's a small channel. It's up and coming, and I want you guys to support the channel. And I'm going to put the link to the channel in the chat. Okay, now I'm not asking you for anything. I'm just asking you to go check it out. Click on the link, go check it out. If you enjoy the content, subscribe. If you don't enjoy the content, subscribe for a little while. See, maybe they get better. I don't know. Give them a chance. Give them a chance. I mean, it's always good to check out the new channels. You know what? Sometimes the smaller channels provide you with better quality than the bigger channels because they're pure. They don't have agendas. They just have an opinion. So click on that link and give them a look and see if you enjoy the content. I for one will be checking out their content later on today. And I might subscribe. I don't know. I'll have to see. I might subscribe. I might not. We'll see. We'll see. Big up to you guys. Let me hear Eric's point of view. Eric, welcome to the stream. Let me hear your thoughts.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Pleasure.
Very late to the stream, but a lot. It seems as if there isn't some kind of controversial news going on, that it's not a normal season for Chelsea. There always seems to be something. I'm disappointed, obviously. Lukaku has been very unprofessional, from what I understand. And if the club allowed this to happen, I don't know exactly what I should take from it. Are they trying to undermine Tuchel? What is the reason for allowing it to happen, allowing it to go public? It doesn't make too much sense. And Lukaku, I don't know why he feels the need to, talk about these kind of things. Why can't he just be private with it? Why do you have to release this kind of... I think everybody was suggesting already about the system, but you didn't need to go out in public and say, I was talking with someone in the comments, and they were saying that this news has given people ammunition, not just the journalists, but the fans as well. The people who never wanted Lukaku, they'll be like, okay, now, obviously, you didn't even want to be here, right? So what are you doing here? You may as well just go back, And people who did want him, we have to reconsider what we were saying, because the main reason I wanted Lukaku is not because he's a Chelsea fan. I'm not saying he has to be a Chelsea fan, but obviously what he was saying may have not been true. He may not care about the club the way he said he did, the way he made us believe that he did. So it's a very bad situation, and I think things are just going from bad to worse, and we just have to try and find any kind of positive we can get from the situation. So I don't want to say too much more.
Eric, you're spot on. You're spot on. You and Julius. I mean, the thing is, I know Julius Boogeyman in particular. Julius and Boogeyman didn't have a lot of love for Lukaku because of his ability on the pitch. They were not fond of him. Fine. Me and you, Eric, we were pro Lukaku. We thought that this guy could actually do something for the club. However, today, I think me and you are probably more offended by what Lukaku did than Boogeyman and Julius. Because Boogeyman and Julius, they didn't have that high expectations for Lukaku. While me and you, Eric, we actually believed in what he was saying about him being Chelsea through and through and him wanting to achieve success at Chelsea. And then he turns around and says, I didn't leave the Inter Milan fans the way that I wanted to leave them. I didn't go and say goodbye properly. I want to come back in my prime and win something with Inter Milan. Dude, you're a Chelsea man. You're wearing a Chelsea shirt. You're kissing the Chelsea badge. What are you talking about Inter Milan for?
You're 28.
You're 28. When are you going to be going back in your prime? to
And
play
he's
for
also
Inter Milan.
He's also kissed every badge he's played for, so I don't know. There's no loyalty.
That's the thing. So for me, Lukaku, all this hype about him walking into the dressing room, Drogba used to sit there, Terry used to do this, Lampard used to do that. That's all breeze, mate. You're just chatting breeze. Because you don't care. You don't care. If you cared, you would not be doing this interview.
Yeah,
show respect to your bloody manager, man. Show respect
to your club, man.
To your club
yourself. You see, this is the type of thing. I gotta go, Mo, but I'm just gonna wrap it up real quick. Great discussions, King. Thanks for coming aboard, man. You offer some good insights. Julius, we'll have to do this again next time, and Eric, next time we'll get up on this again. But I just wanted to say this. Listen, the thing about Lukaku that has always been prevalent and true is that guy loves to talk. He talks too much. Whenever he goes away somewhere, he's always running his mouth about whatever's happening at the club. He did it with Jose. Like, he just always talks. That's the problem with this guy, and this is no different. I don't feel betrayed as much as maybe Mo did and Eric, because I didn't really want him at first. When he came to the club, I was like, I have to back this guy because he's Chelsea. He's Chelsea through and through. The man was, they have videos of him when he's like 16. Oh man, I can't wait till I come here and score some goals. I love this club, this, that, and the other. And, to me now that just looks like he was just egging it on for the camera, because this guy doesn't really have any loyalty. He gets the opportunity to come play for his boyhood club and really, make a difference. And 3 months into the tenure, the man's already talking about how he wants to go to Inter to finish his career. You're at your dream club. You shouldn't be talking about trying to return to any other club. This is the place you want to be. You know what I mean? So there's no talk about, Inter, the fans, none of that. You're at your dream club. This is the reason why you left Inter, is because allegedly you wanted to come and play for your dream club. So there's no talk after that. Everything else is lock off after that. You don't need to say anything more. You're here. So, like you guys said, I feel as though he's betrayed the trust of the fans that backed him, like myself, the fans like Mo, the fans like Eric, and he's also disrespected the club and the manager at the same time. So, at this point in time, I don't know what the end result is, but I can't see this guy having, a future at the club that is harmonious at this point. Like, he's divided the fan base on a signing, and now he's just put a further wedge in between those that wanted him and those that didn't. So I don't know what the end is, but fellas, you know what it is. I got to go deal with my kid for a minute. I'm sure we'll do something tomorrow or something like that, and I'll be back on. Sure. But it was great talking to you guys, and we'll talk again soon.
Take care, Couch. Take care, Couch. Have a good one. Take care, brother.
Take care, brother. Like Mo, this Lukaku thing, to be honest with me, I'm not disappointed. I'm not surprised. I just think he has to take anything that comes with it. This is why I don't. If you play for Chelsea, I support you. I didn't want Lukaku at the beginning, but for me, anybody that wear the Chelsea shirt, I will support you. But Lukaku did what he did. Lukaku has to pay the consequences. This is why I'm more of an academy guy than anybody, because of that's the reason. Because I prefer a player that will come through from age of 8, 9, or whatever. I don't know. That's my idea of whatever. Any player Chelsea is signing, I always want us to go. It's either you sign cheap or you sign a superstar. But I don't care about anything, their loyalty or what. I just want them to perform on the pitch. That's why my loyalty, I expect them from the Cobham, but not from this, whether it's Lukaku, whether it's anybody, because that's what they're going for. Okay, whether Lukaku was a Chelsea fan, whatever, Lukaku spent half of his career not at Chelsea. More than half, yeah. He's only been at Chelsea the first year. He was there for 2-3 years. Then now he's been whatever. So total, he's a Chelsea fan, but he's only played for Chelsea for 3 years. So I don't see either way. For me, let him score goal. If he doesn't score goal, he will get booed by the fans. And tough on him. He opened his mouth and said something. Deal with it. It's not a big deal to me. I'm over it, to be honest with you. I'm not disappointed. I'm not mad or whatever. The only sad thing is, whatever you and your manager discuss in private should have stayed there. Whatever happened in the dress should have stayed there. A footballer, you don't have a freedom of speech. You don't have. The day you sign that contract, your right has been transferred to the club. So, if you think that you want that freedom, then tear the contract. You shouldn't be a footballer. So, for me, to be honest, either way, Lukaku just have to deal with it. Score us a goal, help us win trophy. If you want to leave, we find to figure something out. For me, it's not a big deal. If a player, whatever, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to whatever. He's done what he's done. So, you know, we move. I don't care about players. For me, I'm not attached to players. I'm attached to the club and the academy. That's it. If you leave the club, I'm done. If you're at the club, I will support you because I want you to help us win. That's about it.
Lukaku knows he has no future in Tuchel's system or the way Tuchel is playing. At least that's how he felt. Or he just went all out.
I think he has no future at Chelsea. I think he doesn't have a future at Chelsea. I don't know how.
No, before the thing, because like Julius said, Lukaku only think about Lukaku. Like, just imagine the fact that he went out and talked like that to press and knows that it will come out at one point. He knows that. You go out, even if your coach, and you know it will come out at one point. You just want to put pressure on the coach to change his system so you can play.
It's not just about the coach, because he mentioned Inter. So the way I see it, even if he apologizes, the fans, I mean, you can't apologize and people just forget about what you said. So I don't think it's a case where, oh, I made a mistake, I'm apologizing for my honest mistake. No, you meant what you said. You
cannot make a mistake when the coach is under pressure.
Exactly. So there's no, I don't see a way back for him realistically.
But even if he wins, still say, sorry, Eric, go ahead. You were not here.
No, just saying that I'm not sure. Like, this isn't. We can't go forward like this. I can't see a reason, because the fans won't accept him anymore. If when he has any kind of poor performance he has, they'll get on his case. They'll remind him about what he said. I just don't see a realistic, positive future for him at the club.
So if you forgot the fan, sorry, go ahead.
No. I wanted to say one of the reasons why I dislike him as a player is because I didn't forget when he went to Man United. He said at the time, I remember, this is the best club in the world, best fans, and even
biggest club,
biggest club, best fans ever, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Then he goes to Inter. He wins a trophy. Then he leaves Inter without. I have family members that are Inter Milan fans, hardcore Inter Milan fans. They hate him. There is no way back for him because they felt betrayed with the way he left. Coming up, I don't know how many months now, 5-6 months later, saying I apologize to Inter Milan. Now, why are you apologizing now? Why didn't you say anything? He didn't even say anything. He didn't write any letters or they felt betrayed. He literally destroyed his legacy at Inter. Wherever faith left in Chelsea, he completely smashed it. He will never gain the fans' loyalty or trust again at Chelsea. Think about it this way: we have still 18 games in the league. That is a lot of games left. Okay, we are 9 points or 8 points behind City, but who knows? City could all of a sudden drop points out of nowhere. What if we go and beat Liverpool and City next games? Who knows? Anything is possible. Why are you saying this stuff now? Why are you trying to apologize to Inter Milan now? Like, it doesn't make any sense, and it just proves enough that this guy is so selfish. He has such a big ego that blinds him. Even look at his behavior on the pitch. I don't know more if you notice these small details.
Yeah.
I notice
complaining about the pass, where the pass has to go, where anything go, and he doesn't press. But I mean, the last game he pressed. He doesn't do too much and talking instead of just get on with the game and do his job.
Look how he looks at the camera as well when he talks to referee. He's looking for so much attention. This guy has mental issues, man. I don't know.
All right, listen, guys. I'm gonna have to end the stream.
Come earlier, man. What were you doing?
Yeah. No, and Julius, you missed out. You missed out, man.
I'm sorry.
Listen, guys, I'm gonna have to end the stream. I really got to go somewhere, and I'm running late on time. We were supposed to have a backstage discussion. We'll do that tomorrow after the stream. We'll be back tomorrow with the match preview. Listen, lads, it's a bad day for Chelsea in the media. We'll see what happens tomorrow, and hopefully things are on the up. Have a good night, lads. I'll see you all tomorrow. Good night. Peace out. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.